You're watching the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network. Now it's time for the Brent Austen Show.
Hey, a look at Jags headquarters as we get ready for day number 2 of Jaguars Training Camp. And guess what? We get to be here as well on really a beautiful morning by July standards here in Jacksonville. And good to be along with you, and good to have all of you back there with us here on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network, the Brent Austen Show. Thanks to the Jags for letting us hang out here up on the second deck of the Miller Electric Center and just set the scene. That's where we are. Obviously, the bleachers right behind us if you're watching, and the football fields are that way. Now, there's some closed periods that we can't give you a look at. But you can see if you come on over, Jaguars.com/training camp is the place to register for practice. They've got some guests, VIPs up here, and it's kind of a cool day for some high school football players on the verge of Baker Sports Media Day coming up next week. A week from today, we'll be there right back inside the stadium, and they've got some of the stars of Friday nights here watching practice. So pretty cool setting on a wonderful day because the cloud cover's been over here mostly to start the morning, and now it's starting to break and the sun's shining, but we got a little breeze going on.
We have a little breeze right now. Yeah, the temperatures seem pretty well. The Jaguars are out there doing their thing, and I'm not gonna lie, I got here a little early because I wanted to show Ryan Nielsen what I still got. Since after that press conference that he put on before practice, I want to play for him.
I tell you what, that was a fun press conference for Ryan Nielsen, and we're going to get to some of it. But what I liked about it, Austin, is a lot of philosophical things, if you will, right? Like just how they want to do things, what they're evaluating, what these weeks are for, why they don't have a depth chart. And we'll get into some of those topics. And then he also talked about just how the players were receiving him, and I thought that was his best comment of the morning, just kind of the relationship part of him, the coaching staff, and these players. And it might say a lot about what they've built in this locker room. I'm not sure every coach in the National Football League would say the same thing that Ryan Nielsen said about this football team. But I think we'll go heavy defense for the most part today, and this is a defense that looks like it's going to be interchangeable.
Yep.
One of the things Nielsen did say is, listen, this isn't 20 years ago. You can't line a guy up in one spot and say, go do this. Yep. And I thought he explained that pretty well. You better be, you got to be, it's a balance, right? Jack of all trades. But you don't want to be a master of none.
No, for sure. And I'm not sure how much I can divulge of what I've seen so far from this new Ryan Nielsen type of scheme here. But
I'll tell you, Tyson Campbell just knocked the ball away from Brian Thomas Jr. in the end zone.
Well, there you go. Tyson, go get your money, man. You can't spend it yet in training camp, but go get your money. I'm seeing a lot of wrinkles. There's going to be a lot of different looks here depending on what the offense gives you. Every NFL defense kind of handles this differently. Some NFL defensive coordinators, they're so stuck in their ego where it's like, it doesn't matter what the offense throws at us. What we do well, they can't stop. Like, if everyone does their job, they won't be able to stop us. And some defensive coordinators think, yeah, we can do our job well, but why not throw a wrinkle over here, a wrinkle over there, and keep the offense on their heels a little bit, instead of having them get in the rhythm. And what I'm seeing here is a defense that's going to stop that rhythm from happening, and a defense that's going to confuse offensive lines for games and games to come.
Yeah, Jaguars doing a little 7-on-7. That's where Tyson Campbell, nice play, came in the end zone. Get a little ooh from the crowd, so you might even see the crowd react or hear them from time to time. It looks like even Trevor answering the question about the defense yesterday, he's like, I don't want to give too much away.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of hide and seek right now, right, with what the Jags are going to do. I mean, people know Ryan Nielsen and what he wants to do. He's even said what his mantra is and his theme and message is going to be. But with this personnel, a lot of teams around the National Football League don't know what they're going to do. I think we're all going to be surprised against Miami week number 1. Whether that's a good surprise or a bad surprise, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think when you look at what he did in Atlanta, you can say, okay, it's going to be identical, the same, but absolutely not, because he had different players in Atlanta than he has here. And I'm a true proponent of this. I think he believes that, he's going to tailor this defense off of the guys that he has. And that's a refreshing take because not every defensive coordinator buys into that. We've seen time and time again when Josh Allen first got here, when Taven Bryan was here, when Dante Fowler was here. These guys get put in positions maybe where, they're not set up for success right off the get-go because you have a defensive coordinator that says, well, I have my scheme and I'm a good enough coach where I'm going to make them play my scheme. I don't get that vibe from Ryan Nielsen. I get the vibe from Ryan Nielsen saying, we have these guys, this is what they're good at, now let's put them in positions to succeed.
Well, you just said, by the way, for you, the latest ooh and ah for you, Aluakin with an interception there on those drills. So
Who's throwing the football?
It's Trevor.
All right.
What I did not know, because I looked in, I got the end. I don't know if it was a deflection. It felt like the way the play was, it might have been a deflection off something. But I'm sure maybe the Jaguars will show it a little bit later. This part of the session, just so you know, is like the media can't show. And even the fans, when you come here, you can't have the video out, which is pretty common. But sometimes on a big play, the Jaguars on Jaguars.com will tweet something out, share something out, and you might be able to see the play. But so what you just said was interesting, because the press conference today with Nielsen started off with Tyson Campbell, and hey, what does he do well? Why did you sign him? Type of thing. That's a good question, right? Like, okay, what did you guys see that made you want to sign this guy? And he said exactly what you just said. He said, and I know you've been saying this for years, like you got to craft what you do around the players that you have. And it sounds like they're going to try to do that with as many players as possible.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's going to be the goal to being a great defense, because, and he spoke on this as well, and I'm sure we have some audio we'll play later, but defenses are always going to be interchangeable. You're never going to have the same defense twice. And when you have that, you have that mindset, you have that adaptability to go, all right, let's see who we have, let's put them there for success. I think that's the way that you run a defense. Now, I think there's some defensive coordinators out there that would probably disagree with me, but I think in terms of winning games, in terms of being successful, in terms of getting the most out of your players, you set them up for success.
Yeah, which is really cool. It's a good stuff to see how this all comes together. I was kind of excited about the defensive coordinator talking this morning. I thought he was very good. So we'll hear from some of that. What do you, when you come out here, and you've been to some practices, we've done this before, we're doing the old show, and that's usually when you'll come out. You went to a lot of practices then. You just got out here for a little bit. What catches your attention out here different than maybe what catches my attention, what catches a fan's attention? What are you looking for?
I mean, it all depends. I mean, seeing this is my first practice, you have a new defense. Obviously, I'm looking at the scheme that they're in and what they're trying to run. Whether it's out of base or nickel, are they blitzing? Is it base? Are they rushing straight up? And granted, this is the second practice, right? They're still implementing a lot of the defense right now. You're just going to kind of get like the bare bones of it. And then as training camp goes on, you'll start implementing more blitzes and exotic looks and things like that. But basically, I'm trying to see what this identity in terms of schematically is going to be on defense. That's what I've been kind of looking at all morning.
All right, so we'll see what that could be as the Jaguars continue practice. Again, just kind of a light session to begin with in these first couple of days. They'll ramp it up. I say light. It looks light. I'm sure those guys are sweating off 5 or 6 pounds in a practice. Hey, Nick, if we can get with the breaking news from this morning. The Jags just continue to drop news and news and news and news. Well, what do you think about the helmets? Did you catch the new alternate helmets?
Caught the new alternate helmets. The whole time the Jaguars have done a great job. I mean, they've shored up contracts. Just signed Tyson Campbell. Unveiled the retro throwbacks. Stadium deal. Nothing to complain about. And then you decided to drop the white helmets with the black jerseys. Something to complain about. I love the white helmets. I just don't like it with the black jerseys, if I'm being honest.
Okay, I'm seeing that all over the place, and you know me. I'm not style. Like, why? Why is that such a... Like, the white on white does look cool. Of course, that's very like the Cincinnati Bengals kind of look, right?
Yeah,
but there's a rule in the NFL, right, where you can't wear the alternate helmet. You have to wear the alternate helmet, I think, with an alternate jersey combo. Is that why they're not going... I think there's a reason why they can't go white and white.
Okay,
there's a technicality
there. But the Bengals do that. Like,
I don't. It might not be. That might be more of their whatever they designate as more, not an alternate jersey.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, I mean, it's a cool looking helmet, and it's just. I think I speak for a lot of people when I say, like, if it was white on white, like that would pop. I think when you go the black with the white, I mean, it's still cool, but I think you can do better.
Yeah. So is it going to diminish the helmet?
Yeah. Nick in the Daytime Kids Corner, the youthful generation. What do you got for us? What are you thinking about this? Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe a little gold. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if you go white pants, if you go black pants with this, or trousers, as they say. I'm not sure what you rock with that. But no, the helmet's cool. It's exciting. I didn't see it coming at all. I don't know if you knew anything about this, Brent. You did?
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Well, break it next time. But, share it or tell us. It's all good, though. This is why you're not barefoot on Twitter yet. It's decisions like that.
I guess so.
It's all good, though. But no, like I said, I think the helmet's fantastic. I just think if it was white on white, man, it would put it over the top.
Made by Tim, it says NFL rule. Alternate helmets are only allowed to be paired with the team's designated alternate uniforms. That's the rule.
Okay, so black's alternate? The jersey's alternate? I thought teal was alternate. I don't know.
Yeah, so that's the thing. Like, I'm not very well versed at this, but that's some of the. There's a technicality in here where everybody wants the white on white, but they just can't get it. This is a little bit. UCF has this, right? Don't they do the white helmets on?
Yeah, UCF.
All black?
I mean, I feel like Buffalo's done this though. Buffalo's had the all white.
Oh yeah, they've done the all white. Yeah. So again, but I'm saying like they've done the white on black. UCF has.
Oh, UCF has. Yeah. Sure.
So I don't know. I'm trying to think of another example of it, but again, I'm not a uniform guy. So
yeah.
Jack just keep breaking news every day. I wonder what's going to happen tomorrow.
Something to talk about. Something to complain about. I mean, for most people, maybe some people like it.
You asked what we could complain about. Here we go.
I don't know. They heard us loud and clear. I love it. I mean, I'm not sure what the overall consensus is, and maybe some people like it. I just think the white on white would be better. But
yeah, I think a lot of people say that too. So anyways, week 10 against Minnesota. Go ahead, Nick.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I feel like it's a little bit of like, do we all think the same? Like, is there a segment of is this a generational thing where it's like, I can't find anybody that's like said, hey, yeah, I kind of like it.
Well, because we have eyes, Brent. Like white on white looks good. White on black is a little more like.
I know, but white on black doesn't look bad.
Yeah, but it doesn't look the best.
Okay.
Like, if you're a fan
standards.
If you're a fan of a franchise, like you want them to be swagged out. You want them to look as cool as possible. And then everyone knows that if you rocked white on white, that would look a lot better than rocking white on black.
Yeah. Okay. I get you.
Yeah.
Hey, Nick, let's get you to work here right away. If you have some Ryan Nielsen stuff, you can jump in and tell me if you don't have it, but I think that you do. And I want to jump into what I thought was the best.
And real quick,
answer.
Nick, I don't think the crowd can hear you, man. So you might want to check out your microphone a little bit.
Oh, well, he's not. We can't even hear him. We can hear. Now, this is the opposite of Hamby. We can hear him, but nobody else can.
I just want a day, Brent. I just want a day where
you're not going to get it.
Oh, and right as I say that, there. Brent, you want to give a live play-by-play what just happened?
Well, we have a little banner, and wind must have took it down, or it just like evaporated.
I think it evaporated. Yeah.
It's like one of these roll-up banners.
Yes.
And I think it like slid off. I was telling you, it's starting to rip a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I hope you kept your seat. Because I think that thing might be completely ripped.
We got a lot going on here.
Man, there's so much going on.
The pole survived.
Man, you thought Tyson Campbell's hamstring last year got ripped a little bit. This thing is completely off the bone.
It's not that windy either.
I don't know what's going on here, man. It's wild.
But anyway, we do have back to Ryan Nielsen. I thought this was his best. This was an interesting answer from Ryan Nielsen when I asked him about the reception from the team. Now, he's been around him a little bit, right, from the spring and early on here, but from the spring necessarily, what they're trying to accomplish, how this staff is integrating with a lot of players that are coming back and had a different look and feel the last couple of years. There could be some loyalties to an older regime, right? Guy walks in, like a new teacher, and you're like, oh yeah, whatever. Sure. And you got to learn, you got to get trust, you got to give the guy a shot. And they have no choice. He's their defensive coordinator, but still, you can feel that. Well, listen to Ryan Nielsen's answer about that. I thought it was pretty interesting.
Really good, when you go into the unit meetings and you talk to the players, and really what you're emphasizing, and they're really, you feel like the players have really bought in and listened in, and if you ask them for something, hey, we've got a better effort in this, or a line a little bit quicker, you see it, and so that's all you can ask for as a coach. One of the things is players, they don't care what you know until they know how much you care. And our staff, spending time with the guys, it's been really important. We have good guys. I love to be around our players. They're really cool guys. They care so much, and you hope that comes across to them, that you really care about them on and off the field. That's what it's about. This journey is so, it's a long, but this team is only together. One of the players said it, this team will only be 1 year together. Some of the staff will leave, and you want it to be so good for these guys this 1 year, win, play the best that you can. And so hopefully that comes across to the guys. You try to get that across to them that, man, I really care about you as a person, as a player. And that's why sometimes we're coaching you hard, or we're putting you in adverse situations, that we want you to be the best. And so when you ask them to, hey, let's run to the ball, hey, let's give a little bit better effort, and you seeing that on tape. And so yesterday was a perfect example. Hey, let's align a little quicker. So expect to go out there today and see the guys down in their stances and align a little quicker. And then, next day it might be something else. But overall, it's been a blast to be with these guys. It's just day one. I'm fired up. I can't wait to get out there. I mean, it's like let's get going. But it's been really cool. Love these guys. They're awesome guys, and love spending time with them.
Well, that's Ryan Nielsen, and I just thought that was pretty good stuff. I thought it was a good explainer of what they're trying to accomplish, right? And coaches will say, I think in this profession, you coach the man and then the player.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
And I think that's what he's kind of saying. The relationships matter. This is what I was asking you a little bit about, when it comes to Doug and Press and other people, and I think he's screaming it, really. I mean, the relationship matters, to build that trust, to say, hey, we're in it for you, and then when you ask for a little something more and you get mad, it's okay. You understand it.
Yeah, I mean, the only downside of this press conference from Ryan Nielsen is that he just oozes head coach vibes, and you wonder if he can be successful here, how long he's actually going to last here in Jacksonville before he gets a head coaching gig, because I think Ryan Nielsen's a perfect example of a guy who gets it. Just kind of watching him on the sidelines a little bit today, kind of watching how he carries himself, watching his demeanor, and being a former player himself, he definitely has that old school approach, but he's got that modern, self-awareness, if you will.
Yeah,
And to me, the biggest takeaway is that, players don't care what you know. Players want to know how much you care, and once you earn that, and that's everything, and that's a testament to me to being a mediocre coach or being a great coach. Every coach is different. Some coaches will chew you out. Some coaches are player friendly, not going to cuss at you at all. But can you be genuine? And if you want to be that coach, that's going to be a little more, in your face, hold you to a high standard, maybe chew you out every once in a while. You have to showcase now exactly why you're doing it and that you care, and you're doing it because you do care. And if you can get that message across, you got something.
This is, I think, where people like Gus Bradley were so good at, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, so good at that element. Obviously, it didn't work out the X's and O's and on the field and everything that transpired, but that's why people loved them. Players loved them. The locker room seemed to grab. I'm not saying everybody will always love that style or whatever else, but it seemed to be there. And you get a little bit of that in a soundbite like that. Now, we have no idea how people are acting inside the building, whatever, compared to what they're talking in front of a microphone. But I thought they were pretty powerful words. And you said something that's kind of interesting now. Maybe, Doug, this could be, we question how good the defense is going to be. What's it going to look like? How's it going to mesh together? How quickly can it happen? I think it's the most pivotal part of this team. I think the offense is going to score points. I think the defense, I think they have really good players on that side of the ball. In my mind, I can't envision it enough to be like, hey, they're going to be really good. They're going to be top 15. They're going to be top 12. They're going to be top 10. I don't know. I really don't. But it's okay to ask the question sometimes, what if they are really good? And if they are really good, Doug might have built a staff here, and he's got a couple of future head coaches
Yeah.
Because I know everybody else about Press Taylor, but if their offense takes off, Press Taylor is going to be a hot head coaching candidate, just to let you know, whether that's this year, next year, if they can have success on that side. You just said the same about a guy like Ryan Nielsen. Maybe he's a future head coaching candidate. And by the way, they already have head coaching expertise on their staff, and a guy like Mike McCoy, too.
Yeah.
I'd put together a really good staff if it all comes out nice when we get inside that stadium.
No, for sure. And I think that the biggest thing I've taken away so far is that they're clear with their messages and then they know how to talk to players. You know, I'm not knocking Mike Caldwell from last year, but we get the sense that, you know, there were some issues with alignment and issues with practice and what guys knew going into a game. And I think, you know, to be a coach now in the NFL, whether you're a position coach, a coordinator, even a head coach, you got to know how this modern NFL athlete thinks. And like back when I played in 2010, it was almost more of like a dictatorship. You know, all right, we're going to practice at 8 o'clock at night. We're not going to question it. You know, Tyson Alualu, you just signed your contract, got on a plane from Hawaii, flew here. Well, guess what? You have Oklahoma Joe's first day back. Like, nobody questioned it. Nowadays, and whether you want to point to the youth or point to players these days, they will question everything. They want to know, why are we doing this? Why are we doing that? Why are we doing it this way? Why are we doing it that way? And it's a coach's job to explain to those players why exactly they're doing that. And then once again, that's what I took from Ryan Nielsen, you know, this morning at his press conference. It seems like he's going to explain everything that they're doing and why they're doing it, as opposed to last year where maybe there was a little confusion of, well, are we going to work on our alignments? Are we going to work on our defenses, our schemes, things like that? I think Ryan Nielsen is going to answer the question every single day of why are we doing things the way that we are?
Yeah, I like that explanation. Let's do this. Take a timeout. I think the defense right now is winning and beating the offense. Nick, did you just say something to us? Oh, okay. We'll get to Ryan Nielsen in just a little bit. We're going to take a break. Brent Austen Show. We're live at Jags Training Camp, and they're still getting after it here in period number 9, and still got about 20 minutes or so at least of practice ahead of us. So we'll show you some of the practice from earlier in the day. We'll have some sound with Trevor Lawrence from yesterday, more with Ryan Nielsen. Marcel Robinson catches up with Christian Kirk, and, well, as we go to break, Dewey just picked off Trevor Lawrence in the corner of the end zone, trying to force one in to Christian Kirk. So that defense is looking a lot better than the offense so far here on day 2 of training camp. We'll be right back on the Brent Austen Show on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 Network. Everyone loves a good game night. Here you don't have to be the host. You don't have to clean up. They bring the food and drinks to you, and you can watch whatever you want on the big screens. It's more than a card room. It's a night full of fun with friends. Best Bet Jacksonville, Orange Park, and now the newest location here in St. Augustine, right off 95 at exit 311. A brand new clean room, a full bar and menu, my favorite sushi in town. And I love the fries too. You don't have to just play poker at Best Bet. That's why I come over here to the table games and play one card poker. That's a pretty good card and a win. One card poker is like war as a kid, you against the dealer. And this isn't the only fun table game to play. A friendly staff, a lot of fun. It's a good night out at Best Bet Jacksonville, Orange Park, and the newest location in St. Augustine. You can be a serious player or a novice. It doesn't matter. If winning equals fun, you're a winner every time at Best Bet. I'll save you a seat, and I'll see you down here at Best Bet St. Augustine.
Oh, man, it is that time. I love being outside, but it is just so hot. Oh, my gosh, I cannot be outside. Well, you know, it doesn't have to be. As a matter of fact, I've got the perfect solution for you to be able to stay outdoors and not look like this guy.
GW Outdoor Solutions has the solution that will help you create areas of shade with their automated retractable awning. As the summer months inch closer, the high temperatures will be right there too. With GW Outdoor Solutions, go from scorching to cooling in no time with one simple push of a button. These innovative shade solutions not only provide protection from the sun and rain, but also add style and functionality to your home. Let GW Outdoor Solutions transform your backyard into paradise. Check out GWOutdoorLiving.com for your free estimate.
Summertime means sizzling sales at Nimnick Buick GMC. The #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville has lots of inventory to choose from with their best price guarantee. Nimnick never charges above MSRP. You can save up to $10,000 off select new GMC Sierras or get rates as low as 1.9%. You know, I'm a truck guy. GMC Sierra, my trim level is an SLT. This one's an Elevation. Pretty good looking color as well. So here at Nimnick Buick GMC, you have a lot to pick from. My father-in-law, he drives this, an Enclave, so I feel like that GMC in the family. 2025 is coming around the corner, which means it's almost time to close out those 2024s this summer. You can schedule a test drive at NimnickBuickGMC.com, and while you're there, check your trade value and customize your payment options. Nimnick is there for you, even on Sundays. Visit the showroom on Phillips Highway or shop online at NimnickBuickGMC.com. Nimnick, your friends in the car business since 1941. GMC, we are professional grade.
It's hard to put a price on comfort, especially when you use that comfort on a daily basis. But if we're going to put a price on it, how does the lowest price guaranteed sound? Furniture Source is going to have the biggest brands, whether it's Ashley, Casper, or Tempur-Pedic, and once again, it's going to be the guaranteed lowest price in Jacksonville. Right now, my friends at Furniture Source are going to give you the ultimate hookup because all month long, they're making their inventory wholesale price. Check out their markdowns up to 50% off. And remember, since it's Furniture Source, you're getting the guaranteed lowest prices in Florida or your money back. Don't have the cash on you right now? It's no worry. Shop endless options to suit your style and budget and enjoy 36 months off with no interest financing. Why use your money when you can use theirs? Whether it's beds, couches, tables, or chairs, Furniture Source is going to have exactly what you're looking for. Shop the lowest prices in Jacksonville guaranteed. Find the location nearest you at FurnitureSourceJacks.com.
It's a new logo, new branding. With Bold City Heating and Air, it's an old school approach. One of the few locally owned and operated air conditioning businesses left in Jacksonville. It's hot, Florida in the summer. You can't do much to avoid it, but you can keep cool with Bold City Heating and Air. It's every customer counts kind of service, from when these trucks have pulled up to my home over the last couple of years and when they pull into your driveway as well. From communication to pricing to the actual service, everyone at Bold City Heating and Air cares about you. You know who is coming to your house. You know they will be well trained and they will respect your home. Air conditioning convenience at BoldCityAC.com. Stay cool while it gets hot. Bold City Heating and Air can help. Don't get caught sweating all summer. BoldCityAC.com. And they have financing to help. New systems starting at $110 a month and $50 off any repairs. Stay safe, stay comfortable with Bold City Heating and Air at BoldCityAC.com. Homegrown in your hometown.
Welcome back to the Brent and Austen Show, streaming on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network.
Look at Trevor Lawrence and the Jacksonville Jaguars here on day 2 of training camp as they get settled in. And that offense isn't quite settled in, I can tell you that. Or maybe the defense is more settled in because the defense is winning the day so far, at least in these closed period sessions, however you want to calculate it. Brent Austen Lane back here at training camp as we are live. Thanks to Jags for letting us hang out here, get to watch a little practice, get to do our work down here, and get to bring the show to you live along with some of our friends in the background. You wish they'd all wave to you back there. They don't even know, probably. Yeah. They're all over the place on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network, on the Action News Jacks app, on Action News Jacks Now app. When you're watching on Roku, Google TV, Apple TV, maybe they'll watch themselves a little later. They can replay the show. ActionNewsJacks.com, all the social media channels. You know where to get us. And you can listen to the podcast a little bit later if you missed any of the show as we continue to talk about Training Camp 2024 and day 2 of it. Spent a lot of time talking to Ryan Nielsen. We'll do a little bit more of that as we've got some more reaction from him, some reaction from Trevor Lawrence. But I want to ask you, when it looks like a day like today where the defense is winning, and I know you're going to have the ebbs and flows of camp, like, do you go back into the meeting rooms and are they like, well, they got us today? I mean, is that a conversation point?
It's definitely a conversation point. Not necessarily so much for the players, but the coaches kind of reinforce that a little bit. Right, so yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, Press Taylor, Doug Peterson, who's ever calling the plays, is going to, get after this offense a little bit and say, we have to do a lot better because right now the defense is kind of having their way with this offense.
Yeah, and I I don't know again, I think what you like is if there's some ebbs and flows of that, right? I don't think you want to see one area dominating throughout camp. I think it's good to have some wins for everybody to keep confidence high, but also keep the chip and the competitive spirit up.
Absolutely, but to be fair, the defense always has an advantage from the get-go. You know, like any kind of all-star game that you play in. I mean, when I played in the Senior Bowl, like the defense definitely has a little more of an advantage off the get-go, just because offense is all about timing, chemistry, and sometimes it takes a little while to develop that. So I'm not surprised, but obviously there's been some errant throws as well that have to get cleaned up. Yeah,
and listen, that's like you said, it's not surprising. It's a little bit like pitchers and hitters early on. A lot of people say the pitching's ahead of the hitting, and so yeah, not a surprise at all. That's a good explanation. As we're taking a look at Trevor Lawrence in this quarterback room, I think there's a lot of eyes on this. Obviously, Trevor, I think it's almost like it doesn't matter what Trevor does the next 4, 5, 6 weeks to the outside, because it matters what he does inside Everbank Stadium and on the field on Sundays, and that's where he's going to be judged and graded. And we're comfortable with him. It's not like we used to do this with Blake Bortles or other quarterbacks. We're like, hey, how's he throwing the football? How's the release? Like, how's the wind up? Like, has he fixed things? All the work in the offseason. Like, we don't notice those things about Trevor Lawrence. Like, from a fundamental standpoint, I'm sure he's working on stuff, but the naked eye, the casual eye, doesn't see any of that. So what are we seeing? Like, what do we want to see? I mean, just command of the offense and obviously not a lot of turnovers.
Yeah, I mean, obviously turnovers first and foremost, but you just want to see command. You want to see leadership. You want to see a franchise quarterback. You know, when you talk about a franchise quarterback, that's the general. That's the guy that's in the huddle, making sure everyone's where they need to be, and that's the guy that's leading the team. So, leadership can happen in a couple ways, being vocal, the way you carry yourself, but also you have to play well. And that's going to be the biggest thing going forward now for Trevor Lawrence. And the Jaguars fans' eyes is, hey, we paid you like a franchise quarterback. Now we need to see it.
Austin, I'm a big believer in him as a leader, too. I think he has all those intent. He knows what it looks like. He knows what it takes. I watch him sometimes even after a rep as he gets picked off again by Dewey in the end zone. That one was not a good throw.
Is that 3 picks today for Trevor Lawrence?
Well, I think the other one was a fumble recovery. I said it was a pick. But Evan Ingram was the intended target. Dewey has 2 picks this morning.
All of a sudden, Andre Cisco's getting a little worried now over his safety position.
Cisco's coming out here to congratulate him. They get fired up over there. That was not a good throw by Trevor. But it's the same spot, by the way, where Dewey got the pick. He tried to do the same thing to Kirk and then to Ingram, and he misfired on both of them, or Dewey just made a really good read and a really good play. But this quarterback room in general is, I still think, something to watch. I don't think we've had to do that. We knew it was Trevor, and C.J. Beathard. I still think Mac brings an interesting element to this quarterback room. And I don't know what that is. I don't know if it really matters.
You hope it doesn't matter.
I feel like it's a training camp story only, but I'm just being honest with you. Like, when I come out here, my eyes go to number 10 a little bit, too, and see if he's going to be able to either unseat Beathard, or I do think it's going to be a storyline whether they keep 3 quarterbacks as we get later into August and early September.
No, it'll be a storyline, but let's keep it 100 here. If we're talking about Mac Jones in the regular season of how well he's playing or how well he's not playing, then you have bigger problems at your hand. I mean, it's a cool story right now for training camp. You got to find those stories, but by the time the season starts, and no disrespect to Mac Jones, I think he's a great football player, and obviously from Jacksonville, I respect it. But if we're talking about you during the regular season, here's the panic button, and here's just me hitting it.
Again?
Dude, if Mac Jones is playing in the regular season, Brent, panic button. You don't think so?
Yeah, no, I don't. Okay. It's that's why that's not a conversation.
Of course.
The conversation is the next 6 weeks is even going to make the team.
So don't undersell the panic button, please.
Well, there's no panic button yet. But Mac, you wonder if he's on the squad, if he's going to get picked up by somebody else, if you guys have said maybe he's a trade piece at some point. I don't think of that. So I just think he's a fascinating, and he looks, I'll continue to say this, he looks so comfortable.
Yeah.
He looks just at ease. I think there's sometimes you can tell when a guy's like, it's good to take a step back.
Yep.
And he looks like that. But he's got to unseat Beathard, too, by the way, who I think is very well respected around here. And I don't think maybe the outside folks, the fans, believe that as much.
Yeah.
But I think they do internally. And he's Trevor's guy. C.J. Beathard, in part, is Trevor's guy. Yeah. So it's going to be an interesting decision that they make at some point in the quarterback room. Speaking of Trevor Lawrence and expectations, let's hear from Trevor. Shad spent all this money on him and Tyson Campbell and all the free agency and Josh Hines-Allen. And, well, with that, comes the expectation probably from the guy writing the checks that, okay, it's time to win, right? It's time to go. Here's Trevor Lawrence on the expectations going into year 4 after a busy offseason.
Yeah, I mean, it shows the belief that he has in us, and obviously that feels really good as players to have that from the owner and from the organization. And he talked to us as a team the other night, and obviously won't go into everything he said, but just, the expectations are high, and they should be around here, especially when he's putting, his money, his time, all these things behind it and backing it and really putting a lot into it. He has high expectations for us. We have high expectations for ourselves, and we expect to win. And times now, we've kind of been we've been lingering around a little bit the last couple of years, but this is our opportunity, and we need to take advantage of it.
So there, I like that because he gets it, and he does. He usually gets it, but the expectations go up when you do get paid. And he said this way back in April before the contract. He's like, "Listen, the expectations are there anyway, right? Yeah. I mean, it's not like I'm going to feel more pressure with the contract. I mean, you feel the pressure. You feel it's just there. It exists." And what I do, I'll piggyback what I said yesterday. I like the 3 guys that they paid. And this is what you ask yourself when you're a GM, owner, when you're writing these kind of checks, Austin. Yep. Is that guy going to change? Is that guy going to be the same guy that I'm investing? Because money changes people sometimes, and you've seen it in the league.
No, of course.
Where it can change people.
Yeah.
I think with these 3 signings, one of the reasons they're confident in these signings, the reason they're celebrating these signings is not just because they're good players, but they think they're going to continue to be the same guy.
Yeah, I mean, they're model staples or pillars, call them whatever you want to call them. But, yeah, I think they're going to be consistent whether they get all the money or not, and that's what you want in that locker room for sure.
Speaking of Trevor Lawrence, let's hear one more time from him. And, it's interesting how the Jags are going to play this. Are they the underdog? Do they feel like with all the money spent and the team that they have and they think they're good and know they're good, that they're ready, like they're the team to actually be beat? But, it's a mixed bag right now, and Trevor Lawrence kind of explains it. Although, remember, this is a football team that seems to play better with a chip on their shoulder and chasing the next team. And in this case, it's the Houston Texans in the AFC South.
Yeah, I mean, it's like twofold, because obviously that means you probably didn't do as much as you wanted to do the year before. But, I think it's always fun being on this side of it where you want to prove everybody wrong, and you have a lot of people doubting you, and maybe there's not as many expectations from the outside. I mean, it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. You still got to go perform, and it matters really what goes on in this building and what we do out here getting ready for the season, and really the attitude and mindset that we have moving forward. That's really what matters. But I will say it is fun kind of being the overlooked team, and you do kind of enjoy that, and you want to prove people wrong. But hopefully moving forward, there's a lot of people saying that we're good or we're great or whatever, saying good things, and that'll be another challenge of ignoring that, because that means we had a good year and we did what we were supposed to do. So obviously that's not where we're at coming into this season, but it doesn't really matter. It's just a different set of challenges. But yeah, I think it is nice kind of having that, getting overlooked a little bit.
There it is. It's a balance, and I love what he said there. Hopefully we have to learn how to do the other side, and we're going to question that until they're able to do that. Can they get back on top, and then can they stay on top?
Yep.
And that will be the question. But, we'd love to be able to talk about that at some point. We'd love to see if the Jags are 8-3 and playing for a number 1 seed again and playing a home game or playing wherever and say, all right, are they going to do it this time? Are all the moves that they made in the offseason going to pay off this time? So that's a question that will linger, but I guess you got to get there first before you can be the hunted. You got to chase down the hunted.
Yeah, you have to get there first, and obviously right now, I think this team has a chip on their shoulder. They have to. How can you not? You disappointed last season a little bit, so yeah, I think right now they have that chip, and it's a good thing to have. It's a little extra motivation, if you will, and then time will tell. We'll judge then when you become the top dog again, if you can stay there, if you're going to kind of falter again.
Yeah, so Jaguars working on some special teams now. As this practice is probably going to wrap up pretty shortly, as we're almost a couple of hours into it here on day 2 of Jaguars Training Camp. Let's take a break. Brent Austen Show here live on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network. Some of the fans are getting out of Dodge now, but good to see all the fans here, and good to have football back in Jacksonville. Thanks for hanging with us. We take it until 1 o'clock. We're going to stay here and camp out. Appreciate the Jags for having us here at Jags headquarters as well. The Brent Austen Show. More rolls on right after this on a Thursday. We all have our favorite spots in town to eat, drink, and have a good time. And once in a while, we try a new spot. This new spot will soon become your favorite spot. It's 1937 Spirits and Eatery in San Marco. Where else can you get unicorn fish? It was really good. They have local fresh seafood. Try a terrific burger or a Jack's Hot Chicken sandwich. The ambiance is perfect for any occasion. The idea here is to have fun, have a good time. Whether you're chilling out on the couches, cozying up to the bar, having lunch or dinner, it's a throwback experience. 1937, when going out to dinner was like going to a party. They even have a photo booth. Who doesn't like a good photo booth? We recently brought the entire team out to try it, and everyone said, I'm bringing my significant other here to try it as well. The new spot becomes your favorite spot. Make 1937 Spirits and Eatery in San Marco your new favorite spot.
What started out as better people, better projects just keeps getting, well, better. That's Better Exterior Solutions, ready to help you create a better outdoor experience. Check this out. Motorized pergolas are the latest in technology to transform your outdoor space. Beautiful day? Let the sun shine through. Summer rainstorm? These pergola systems close automatically to keep the weather out. From residential to commercial uses, Better Exterior Solutions has products customized to meet virtually any existing architectural structure. With retractable awnings, screens, and hurricane shutters too, if you want unparalleled quality and expertise, you need Better Exterior Solutions. Get a free estimate by visiting betterexteriors.com or calling 904-902-4999. Better Exterior Solutions. Experience better.
You trust CGC to make your water great, and now you can trust CGC with your plumbing needs as well. Fast, convenient scheduling, licensed and insured. A quick call away at 904-552-1242. You never know when you're going to have an issue with a shower, toilet, or maybe it's a sink that sometimes is easy to fix. All right, let's be honest. I'm not fixing anything. I'm totally staging this because when I have a plumbing problem, I call CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing. Trained professionals, transparent pricing, customer satisfaction. Small problem or even a bigger issue. Maybe you need a new tankless water heater or something a bit more intricate. The experts with 25 years of experience at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing can do it all. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. That's 904-552-1242 or cgcwater.com. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 1432579.
The friendliest golf course in town, the Golf Club at Southampton. Local golfers have no shortage of options when it comes to picking a course to play here in Northeast Florida year-round. Yet time and time again, I find myself here at the Golf Club at Southampton. Easy to get to off 210 in St. Johns County. It's family-owned and operated and renowned for being one of the area's most player-friendly. That's just one of the reasons we hold the Action Sports Jacks Dream 18 charity golf tournament here each fall. The Mark McCumber design layout is great for all skill levels of golfers, from the guys who bomb it a mile on the range to golfers like me who are just happy to put it in the fairway, which Southampton has very accommodating fairways. And if you need new clubs, come down to the pro shop. They'll fit you up and get you a nice new set like they did for me. For more information on membership or to book a tee time and see for yourself, head over to golfsouthampton.com or call the clubhouse at 904-287-7529. The Golf Club at Southampton. It's the official home of the Action Sports Jacks Dream 18. Make it your home for golf too.
It's the place we party in football season with Jaguars All Access. Welcome to String Sports Brewery, everybody. Say hello to our guest tonight. That is Trevor Lawrence. You can bring your party or event to String Sports Brewery in Springfield any day and any time. Rehearsal dinners, corporate events, birthdays. Here at Strings, you can enjoy the inside area and the outside area. Good for any weather, good for any occasion. Watch the games, play the games, shoot some hoops. Beer? Yeah, they have that. Plenty of choices. And sure, this is a brewery, but Strings is also a restaurant, and the food is fantastic. A full menu made from scratch meals. And if you need String Sports Brewery to help with a party at your place, they cater too. Family, beer, food, sports. Spring Sports Brewery in Springfield.
Welcome back to the Brent and Show, streaming on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network.
And there's a look at Miller Electric Center, Jags headquarters, as well as day 2 of training camp continues, and they'll get off the field here in just a little bit. Nice days. We've got even more cloud cover right now, so overall been pretty good. Brent Austen Show live at Jags Training Camp. Looks like we've got some fans getting ready to line up and get some autographs. So that will be the scene here. I think they do a different position group every day. Quarterbacks went yesterday, so I'm not even sure who's going today. We catch up with some players and coaches, and right after today, we're going to try to catch up with Trayvon Walker. Ryan Nielsen talked this morning, and Josh Hines-Allen talks today as well on the podium. So we'll have a lot of that. First and 10 training camp comes up tonight, 11:15 on CBS 47 and Fox 30. We debuted that last night for another year. Gosh, we've been doing that for over a decade now, I think, every night at camp for 15, 20 minutes, and just a recap of the day here at Jags Camp. But we get to recap now almost in live action, 10-1, with our Brent Austen Show on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network. And Austin, there is first and 10 training camp. You know, the defense wins the day. I mean, there's no other way to say it. Foye-Lukin has a fumble recovery. I saw a lot of balls on the ground anyway. Even it looked like the defense was smothering them. And then Dewey comes up with 2 interceptions in the exact same spot of the end zone. One against Kirk, one against Evan Ingram. So a good day for Ryan Nielsen's defense.
Yeah, I mean, listen, this was a dominant day for Ryan Nielsen's defense, and I'm not trying to over-exaggerate anything, because we do tend to do that, obviously, in training camp.
Yeah, we try not to here.
But if I'm shot, we're not going to do it on the show or anything, but if I'm Shad Khan, I'm calling down right now and saying, all right, guys, we're all good. Get them off the field, and we'll see you in Miami. Get the defense off the field right now, put them in bubble wrap, and we'll see you guys in Miami. Practice, nope, we're all good. We are game ready right now.
You're ready to you are ready to just bubble wrap everybody on day 2 of camp and say we're good.
I didn't say everybody. I said the defense. Offense can do 2 a day as far as I'm concerned right now. Trayvon Walker.
What do you think? You wanted
put
to
some
see
muscle on?
So, well, we're going to talk to him a little bit today. He comes in at usually like 272, Austin.
Okay.
So are you thinking that he looks bigger than last year, muscle-wise?
I mean, it's hard because he's rocking like the white long-sleeve shirt, so that obviously enhances the bulk a little bit. But yeah, if I was to put some money down, because I've seen him stand next to Josh Allen, I'm like, Josh Allen's a big dude, but I would say Trayvon Walker maybe added some weight.
Yeah, maybe he did. And I'll have Marcel ask him a little bit, see if he did anything to the body. He's such a big guy that he always looks big to me, and I can't really tell. You know, because somebody said this to me the other day. They said Trevor must have gained like 15 pounds. I'm like, no, he didn't. Trevor didn't gain. Last year he gained like I think 7 or 8 pounds.
Yeah,
Trevor did. So did he add a little bit more muscle this year? But he didn't add 15 pounds, right? I mean,
15 pounds? I mean, unless you're trying to get like on the ESPN body issue all of a sudden.
But it is funny how we notice these guys, right? We notice that when they put even a couple pounds on, that it looks like it's a lot.
Well, yeah, and I think that the biggest storyline with Trayvon Walker, if he did indeed add some muscle or some weight, is the fact that, well, then does that mean that maybe they could incorporate him going inside a little more?
Well, that's it. That's what you've been asking. Regardless of how much you think he weighs or if he did do that, do you think they should and will do that in this Ryan Nielsen defense?
I mean, it all depends what the depth looks like. It depends what Gibson can do, but I would not be surprised, because I also wouldn't be surprised if Lloyd's going to be used a lot more in the pass rush game as well. Just schematically from what I've seen so far. So, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised that Trayvon Walker gets bumped inside every once in a while. But the last thing I want to see is him making that a full-time position when he had 10 sacks last year on the outside.
I know, and you've been very adamant about that. You don't want to mix it up too much, but it's okay to wrinkle things in here or there. Again, going back to even what Nielsen said today, everybody's doing more stuff on defense across almost every position. But there's a fine line between saying, hey, that guy had 10 sacks last year at this spot.
Yeah. How
much do you want him off that spot? Also, don't put so much more on his plate that he's got to worry about 2 things instead of just one thing. And then we've said, it's like, okay, when's the time to put a little bit more on the plate, because he can now handle it as a third-year player in the NFL who's ready to do that.
Yeah, without a doubt. But at the same time, I guess you can kind of ask the question as well, where what's better for the pass rush? Trayvon Walker on the outside, or maybe Trayvon Walker moving down every once in a while and then blitzing or rushing Devin Lloyd? You know, like we don't know what that really looks like yet. So time will tell, but you know what you got on the edge with Trayvon Walker. Now it's just a matter of can they find, I guess, other pieces to incorporate him if he was going to move inside.
Nick, let's get some Ryan Nielsen sound on the depth of this football team, because I think this goes along with this conversation. I like the thought of what they're trying to do. We've heard this for years. I remember Jack Del Rio. We're cross-training, right? Okay, I get it. The versatility is bigger than ever in the NFL, though, because of the pass game, because of the way the spread has come into the game. It's just a different style. I mean, there are more principles. It's pass happy, so you have to be able to do things. You have to be big, fast, strong, and be able to do it all. And so Ryan Nielsen talked about that, but in the way of they've got to be able to find other guys that can fit, and that means they have to play them and see them. They can't just get to our conversation yesterday. October, a guy gets hurt and be like, oh, I hope this guy's good. They're going to try to find that out over the next 5 and 6 weeks by mixing and matching on the practice field and maybe in the preseason. Here's Nielsen talking about how they're going to evaluate the depth.
It's good depth, you know, and again, it's day one. And so, yep, there's going to be some position battles. And what we're really focusing on is getting all of those guys reps and get different players on offense. And then truly, that's a true evaluation. So here, what that means is if you go out there and you play the two corners and they're playing against the first team offense every single play, then are you really evaluating the second, third, and fourth guys? And so what we want to do is, hey, maybe whoever's up next, hey, they're going to get some reps against the first, and then the next guy's going to get some reps, and then we can get a true evaluation of the depth at that position. And hey, maybe we had this guy third or fourth. Well, he's playing a little bit better. If we wouldn't have put him in there, if those guys wouldn't have had the depth chart, and hey, it's stuck and you can't play against those guys, then we would have never seen what they can do against, you know, our first or second team. And so that's what we're doing right now. As that continues to go, and then you'll start seeing, we'll start having a depth chart. But this is 3-4 weeks away now. Like, we've got some time to evaluate. It's probably just an organizational philosophy. You know, talking with Coach and Trent about like how we want to evaluate and things like that. I just think it's really important that everybody gets an opportunity. And you guys all know the stories of, hey, this guy's buried in the depth chart, he gets his opportunity, and all of a sudden he becomes this great player, right? And so we want to evaluate and give those guys chances that. And then here's the other thing too. It's a long season. Injuries happen. It's just part of the game. If the second or third team guy never gets in, then how do you know how he's going to perform when he's actually in a game? And so that's where, hey, we're continually to rotate, and you'll see, you know, you may see Josh out there with a guy he's never played with, you know, whoever that is. And then once we get to the season and we've got, you know, the guys going to the game, we should all feel confident that anybody who's dressed is able to go in and perform and help us win that game. And that's the ultimate goal.
Trevor. Yeah, that was pretty in-depth response, right? A couple of depth questions. But it makes some sense, Austin. I think we're seeing this isn't just Nielsen. We've heard this from Doug Peterson too. I think we've even heard a bit from Trent Baalke. One of the mantras of this offseason is we are not going to get stuck because of injuries in the last 6 weeks like last year. We need to have people ready to play. Sure. And it kind of reminds me of did they have Parker Washington ready to play? Well, in fairness to that young man, he's a rookie and he hadn't played. How could he be ready to play? So I think that's kind of what they're going to try to do with the back end of that roster. How much you can do that, I think, is limited to begin with, but this is certainly the time to find out.
Yeah, this is the time to find out, and it's almost like trying to find that happy medium, find that balance a little bit, because, well, you still want to get your ones a lot of reps, too, as well, because you do have some new faces here. You do have a new scheme here, so, you want to make sure the ones are getting a majority of the reps, but yeah, you still have to find those diamonds in the rough, if you will, where if something goes down, you feel confident in putting them in. So it's finding that balance between the ones getting their reps, making sure they're comfortable, and obviously incorporating the depth as well.
Yeah, so that goes back to Trayvon Walker, too. I mean, they have depth on the front line, I think. I think that's one of the strengths of this football team, Austin. They got Devon Hamilton. They have Roy Robertson-Harris. They have Eric Armstead. They have Trayvon. They have Josh. They can move those pieces around. Who knows about guys like Tyler Lacey? Who knows about a guy like Yasir Abdullah in year 2? I mean, they invested in some of these players that could be a part of it, and then they bring in Travis Gibson, who I think they know what they have in that guy. I mean, they really do have a lot of bodies that you can like to figure into this somehow on defense. They got to move the chess pieces in the right spot, but I don't know, man. It might be as deep as I can remember. I'm not even sure if 2017 felt this deep. Maybe it was in hindsight, but because remember going into it, it didn't, because they didn't have Marcel Darius. They traded for him midway through the season. It's a pretty deep squad on that front.
It's a deep squad. I mean, I think we look at the edge, though. You could say, like, I mean, I get Gibson's going to have a big year, but there's still a lot of unproven, I feel like, from that edge. So, yeah, you do have some depth plays, but now it's just a matter of, do you have the depth plays that can come in and make a difference, especially on the edge? Because interior-wise, like, I think you shore that up pretty well now in the draft, and obviously with Eric Armstead, panic button, in free agency, but everything else, we'll see.
Yeah, we will see what shakes out there. Let's do this. Take a break. Camp has taken a break. Little guys getting some extra work out on the field. Some of the receivers, Gabe Davis, Brian Thomas Jr. out there as well. Christian Kirk, you see. Others spending some time with family members. See Travis Etienne and some other players. And then a line of fans who are going to go in and get some autographs before they get out of Dodge for the day. We had a nice crowd, but day 2 of training camp is in the books. We'll hear from some of the players. We'll continue to do that. We'll have a one-on-one with Christian Kirk coming up. Brad Meester is scheduled to join us here in a little bit as well, so we can ask him what he's up to, but also how he remembers camp and what he thinks about this football team, because he's a huge fan of the Jacksonville Jaguars, and he watches all the games. We're live at Jags Training Camp here at the Miller Electric Center in Jags headquarters. Brent Austen Lane, the Brent Austen Show on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network. In Northeast Florida, we love hanging out on the back patio, maybe grilling out lunch or dinner with the family, enjoying the good weather, or maybe enjoying the big game on the TV. Or maybe your favorite team in town, the Action Sports Jacks team. This is great, except for when it's really hot or the bugs start coming out. But what if you didn't have to worry about that? Titan Outdoor Solutions will make your outdoor area a comfortable spot any time of the day, any time of the year. This makes too much sense. Titan Outdoor Solutions can give your home an upgrade. Customized pergolas, awnings, controlled shade, even retractable screens. The solution to beating the heat and the bugs and getting more use out of your home is Titan Outdoor Solutions. And this can even help prevent storm damage at your home. Living in Florida and living in your home is already good. Now make it great. Quality products, custom work, locally owned and operated. Visit TitanShuttersAndScreens.com or call 904-484-7580.
People helping people is at the core of what Alive Credit Union is all about, and it's been that way for over 70 years. From 1954 to 2024, the mission remains to inspire financial wellness and give you a financially fit lifestyle. Alive Credit Union and its employees are committed to not only serving their valued members, but also our community here in Northeast Florida. That commitment includes a partnership with the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 team as the presenting sponsor of all Armada men's and women's broadcasts this summer. Action Sports Jacks and Alive Credit Union, a partnership that just makes sense when it comes to covering Northeast Florida. Alive Credit Union's commitment to our community also involves serving the financial needs of our first responders through the recent merger partnership with City and Police Federal Credit Union. Join the community and become a member of Alive Credit Union today. Find out the many ways you can be inspired in financial wellness at alivecu.coop.
I've been telling you about CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing for a long time now. Their drinking water systems remove up to 99% of contaminants. We've had a Connecticut water softener and drinking water system in our home for more than 7 years. You can see the difference whether you're washing clothes, the dishes, or what I like to do most, fill this up for some coffee every morning, and mostly all day. Remember, if you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Don't be the filter. Right now, you can save $1,000 or more when you bundle the Connecticut Premier Softener with a Connecticut K5 drinking water system. The experts at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing will test your water for free and determine your water score. Don't know your water score? CGC will find out and recommend the appropriate Connecticut water treatment solutions so you can improve it. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. Financing options available with approved credit. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 1432579. Baker Sports is local sports. Uniforms from Pop Warner and Little League to travel ball, high school, and college. They make you look good. They help you play good. Baker Sports has been helping families make memories that will last a lifetime with their Baker's Buckets. We've got a lot of these filled with baseballs and softballs in the garage. I've been throwing batting practice to Ty and Kaylee for years, and also sit on the Baker's Bucket, catching Kaylee while she practices her pitching. Baker Sports is homegrown, and a lot of employees that used to play on local ball fields now work for Baker Sports, now helping you look good, play good, and make memories of your own. Visit bakersport.com to see what Baker Sports can do for you. Custom apparel, Nike, Under Armour, Adidas, embroidery, screen printing, and more. Baker Sports is local sports from Jacksonville to anywhere in the Southeast. Bakersport.com. Everyone loves a good game night. Here you don't have to be the host. You don't have to clean up. They bring the food and drinks to you, and you can watch whatever you want on the big screens. It's more than a card room. It's a night full of fun with friends. Best Bet Jacksonville, Orange Park, and now the newest location here in St. Augustine, right off 95 at exit 311. A brand new clean room, a full bar and menu, my favorite sushi in town. And I love the fries too. You don't have to just play poker at Best Bet. That's why I come over here to the table games and play one card poker. That's a pretty good card and a win. One card poker is like war as a kid, you against the dealer. And this isn't the only fun table game to play. A friendly staff, a lot of fun. It's a good night out at Best Bet Jacksonville, Orange Park, and the newest location in St. Augustine. You can be a serious player or a novice. It doesn't matter. If winning equals fun, you're a winner every time at Best Bet. I'll save you a seat, and I'll see you down here at Best Bet St. Augustine.
Welcome back to the Brent and Austin Show, streaming on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network.
Hey, welcome back to Jags headquarters, and the parking lots are going to start emptying out a little bit. Nice crowd here this morning at Jags headquarters for training camp day number 2. Guys getting off the field, spending some time with family, and hit the showers, hit the meeting rooms. It's still a long day ahead for those guys as Camp 24 continues to roll on here, and we are live for it. Brent Martineau, Austin Lanes.
So can I say something about one of my favorite traditions of this training camp for the second year in a row has been so far? Adam Gotsis, friend of the show, Adam Gotsis, hails from Australia. And last year when I was here, his mom and me became friends in the stands because it turned out she figured out I was a former football player and everything. I was going to Australia for my fight. She's from Australia, obviously, so she was giving me all the details and everything. And when I say she comes to watch Adam, it's not just as a fan. She cheers him she's invested into a practice. And I saw her, and she's here today, and I saw her in the crowd once again, cheering and doing her thing. And then after practice, she came up and gave him a giant hug and everything. And then they had a moment, and it's really cool. Obviously we see a lot of significant others here and kids and everything like that. But shout out to Adam Gotts' mom, man, for still holding it down, dude. She's awesome. We talked about wrestling last year. We talked about she's a big Stone Cold Steve Austin fan. So we got into that.
We should have had her on as a guest.
I know. I was trying to get her attention, man, but she's obviously talking to him, and I had to come back for the show. But just really cool, man. It's really cool when you see a proud parent, and then obviously not just showing up just because, being invested and obviously cheering on her son. So that's starting to become a really cool training camp tradition I'm seeing.
How often did mom come down or family come down in camp, or were you stay away? How did you approach that, especially as you got you moved on in your career.
Yeah, so I mean, I think the biggest testament to my mom is that she never missed a game when I was in college, and this is at Murray State. It's about a 10-hour drive from Wisconsin to Murray State, and she never missed a game. And we're talking she would go to the uncharted waters as well in Jacksonville State, where their fans are letting everybody know about it. She never missed a game. Now like when it got to the pros and everything, Sundays are a little more difficult with her work, but she made as many games as she could. And then I think training camp, she's kind of let me do my own thing because she knew what was up. I'm just like, the last thing I want to do is like have a conversation or talk to people because I'm just so spent from, training out with real 2-a-days and everything. But yeah, I mean, I was blessed to have a family too that was super supportive, and they were definitely road warriors, if you will, in terms of traveling.
All right, so what about buddies? Like, did they come?
Oh yeah,
you guys have I had to take a guy's trip to come see our buddy Austin Lane.
No, for sure. We definitely had
back 40 guys.
I definitely had the homies come and check me out for a couple games. I mean, that was my saving grace of why I was happy I didn't get drafted to Green Bay. Because I would have fizzled out in a year.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd have been doing keg stands in the parking lot after training camp. They'd be like, come on, you can do one. You're dehydrated, but get a little like. I could already tell how that was going to go down. So the fact that I was, miles and miles away from where I grew up, was probably a good thing. When I played in Green Bay at Lambeau, which is one of my best moments I've ever had in the NFL, 100 people came out from my hometown to support me. I got to see them after. So that was a very cool scene. And then also my friends from back home, Jim Leonard, who a name that might be not known to a lot of people, but Jim Leonard spent a lot of time in the NFL, defensive coordinator now, I think, somewhere in college, if I'm not mistaken. Was defensive coordinator for the Badgers for a while, had a lot of success there. But Jim Leonard was a small school legend. He was a walk-on at Wisconsin, got a scholarship, became captain, and the rest is history. So he's almost like a folk hero for all those small towns in Wisconsin. Well, when we played the New York Jets, I'm not exaggerating, I had 6 friends reach out to me and see if I could get them Jim Leonard's autograph after the game.
Really?
I didn't. I'm not going to do that. But it was cool they asked, I guess.
It's cool that they asked.
Get it yourselves, It's not my job. I'm trying to win. It's like an autograph.
I'll tell you this. I've been out to a lot of training camp practices, man. I am a sucker for the family moments.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's just because obviously when you have kids, or I've had kids since I've been covering the Jags, but now they're a little older and all that. And some of these guys are actually young enough probably that they could be my kids, which is very weird.
Yeah.
That's weird because I don't feel like older. Like I always have said this about like even you and other players. Players feel older than they are to me when they're in the NFL. I don't know why that is. They just feel older than they are. But to see them out here with their families, whether it is mom and dad or they got a little kid, or it's really cool. I think that's a fun time of this. For all of them. So.
No, I mean, and obviously I didn't have a kid when I played. I was hanging out with Tyson Alualu, who's 10 kids, whatever he had when he was in the league here. But it's really cool though when you see the kids, and they interact with the kids and everything. When I say like the football players, I mean, I remember a couple years ago on the other station, I brought my son out for a day, and then I interviewed Juwan Taylor, and Liv actually kind of helped out Ronan a little bit, making sure he was good while I was kind of doing work, But then Juwan Taylor came up to my son Ronan, and Ronan thought it was the coolest thing ever. And Ronan still is like a big Juwan Taylor fan to this day, and one of his favorite numbers is still 75. Swaggerless number, swaggerless number, son. I mean, you're not going to be an offensive lineman more than likely if you do go the football route. But yeah, he still talks about that day. So as a football player, you never know how much influence you're going to have on these kids. But it's really cool to see the interaction.
That is interesting that you say that. Swaggerless number 75 doesn't seem that bad, but. I mean, but 77 better? Or?
No, but he's in Pop Warner, and he's like, hey, at 75. I'm like, absolutely not. You can't get 75. How about a Trevor Lawrence number or something?
How about a Brad Meester number?
There we go.
63. That would work. I think we have Brad in. I see him. Now we're going to see if we can hear him and he can hear us. And we try this, Nick. Oh, look at that.
I can't believe I got into this thing. You sent me that. I am not technology savvy, and my kids are all gone. I thought there's no way I'm getting into this thing, but I found a way in.
We should have just had a car pick you up and told you to come here for practice. I guess you're in town.
I am in town. Yes. Yeah, we got in middle of last week, and we're here till Sunday. So we always come back into July and just kind of go out to the beach for a while. So.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Hey, we're watching training camp practice, and we're just talking about it. You might have heard about the families and those moments after practice when you're stuck in that hotel or the grind of this thing, which just got going. But, man, you had a lot of those family moments over the years. Was that a special time after a hot training camp practice to see the fam for a few minutes?
It is. I mean, because obviously especially back then, we were gone all day for weeks on end. Like, we didn't really get days off for a lot of that stretch. So being able to see them after practice was awesome. I mean, I always remember, getting done and walking off, and they would be there in that little walkway spot, stuff like that. So it was always, one of those great moments after, a tough practice to be able to see the family once again. And I know it's always big for them. A few days doesn't seem like a ton of time to us, but to kids, that's a long time. It really is. When you're gone for even a few hours, sometimes it seems like an eternity. So it's great for, obviously, myself, players to be able to see their family, but also for the family to be able to see us again was always great.
Yeah, without a doubt. Brad, great to see you, man. It's been a little bit. When we talk about longevity in the NFL, obviously, first and foremost, but we always talk about, it seems like the center position. Jason Kelce is finally walking away from playing center and everything. What do you attribute? Because you guys are taking, more shots than anybody. I mean, you guys are always in the trenches doing your thing. What do you attribute to the center position having that career longevity?
There's a lot that goes into it. I mean, obviously the first part of it is you got to be able to take care of your body. You got to be able to be in great shape, be able to play that long. Some of it, honestly, is a little bit of luck. I mean, there's so many things happening around you. You can't control those things. And I think sometimes the longevity, a little bit of the center position has a little bit of it to do is you're kind of the quarterback of the offense. You're the quarterback of the offensive line. And those guys a lot of guys that stick around that spot just have I don't want to say great knowledge of the game, but they're able to orchestrate the offensive line, make that communication. I think that really helps be a big part of that. If you're a guy that a team can trust to kind of run everything up front, because even for myself, and I'm sure it's the same now, we're having to be on the same page with the quarterback. We have to identify blitzes. We have to pick up that stuff. We have to be on the same page because he has to know where we're going. So if you're a guy that is really good at doing stuff like that, you can kind of stick around for a while. So.
And Brad, and when you talk about all those attributes, like let's go ahead and put the scout hat on you real quick. Like if you were scouting and you're going to say, well, what makes a great center? Is it more of what they can do on the board, like in terms of schematics, or is it more of like their footwork? Like what's like some of the first things that you're looking for that can make a great center?
Well, that's a great question. It's a little balance of everything. I think you got to be great on the board, and I think you got to be a leader. I mean, you have to be the leader of the offensive line. I think there are a lot of times where all the decisions, for the most part, come from the center. Like they are just saying, hey, this is where the blitz is coming from. They make the initial point. All the guys are reacting off of that. And sometimes in the middle of a game, especially when it is tense, there's a gray area sometimes. It happens quickly. You have to be able to be a guy that's willing to make that decision, in an instant's notice, and where the guys trust you. They know that you put your time in. We talk about being on the board, a guy that's can make those decisions. Well, it's not just something that just instantly happens. There's a lot of hours, that are unseen that are just watching film. I remember coming in as early as possible, get there at 5:30, 6 o'clock, and just start filming my own. I would sit in our meeting room and watch film because you have to be that one that makes that decision. And it happens quickly, and the rest of the group has to rely on you. And that other part of it, the physical part of it, obviously, I think great centers, I think any offensive lineman has to have great feet. When I coach offensive line here in high school, it all starts with feet. It doesn't matter how big, how fast you are, things like that. You got to be able to move. You got to have great feet, and I think you really do at a center spot. You got to be able to get off the ball. Other thing that people don't realize is sometimes definitely at the center spot, you are closer to that nose tackle than anybody else. All the offensive guards, tackles, they're a good half a yard off the ball. You are right up there on the ball, and you got to be able to move quickly. Because once that ball moves, some of them guys hug that ball so tight, by the time that thing moves, they are on top of you. So you have to be super quick. You got to have fast feet, fast hands. I think those are all huge, be able to play the center spot.
I mean, great stuff from Brad Meester here, former center of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Brad, they just brought in Mitch Morse, and you're a guy who's played with a bunch of quarterbacks in your career. Is there an adjustment period to learn to play with a new quarterback? Like, will there be an adjustment period between Trevor Lawrence and Mitch Morse now to try to get acclimated a little bit to build that chemistry? Or does that happen, like day 2, day 3 of training camp?
I mean, I know they've probably been together already in OTAs, different things like that. It does take a little bit. I mean, obviously the communication part is a big part of it, but that will work itself out. I mean, by the time they're through training camp and things like that, and into the preseason, I think you'll have a pretty good idea. Every quarterback has a different type of communication, and I think they'll start getting on that same page. It won't take that long. I mean, once you start getting into the battles, of going against the defense and into preseason, it makes itself pretty clear, and it works itself out. Obviously, the other part of it is I always felt like when it changed quarterbacks, I always felt like the snap changed. It seems weird, seems like a minor point, but especially under center, like just hand placements. All centers are a little bit different. Sometimes you get a tight nose, like I said, on one of the tendencies is the guys to drop their butt when they snap the ball, or different things like that. Quarterback, it just takes a little bit of getting used to. I think always, like when I switch quarterbacks, one of the first things that happen right away in practice is we get snaps that hit the ground. We just have bad snaps. Those happen. That's that other part of it, not just the communication part. It's that feeling a little bit because, like I said, snapping at the beginning of practice was one thing. When you get into the middle of a game or fourth quarter and it is, you're tired as an offensive lineman, he's tired, things change a little bit. You still got to stay on that same page. So that takes a little bit of time, I think, also.
Mr. Jaguar, Brad Meester with us here on Action Sports Jacks 24/7 Network. He's on vacation, by the way, and he's joining us. That's because he's got football coming up in just a little bit. We'll get to that in a moment. But I've got one more center. You're a Jags fan, so I know you've been watching a lot, and you stay in touch with the team, and you watch from Iowa, and you go to some of the games, and we see you there. They have not given up on Luke Fortner, but they kind of gave up a little bit on Luke. They knew they needed an enhancement. They needed to get a little bit better at the center spot. My view of it, which I know nothing about that center position, you just educated us a lot, is that Mitch Morse is he's kind of a man. He's a grown man. Like at some point at that position, you're still a kid or a young man, and then there's the grown man that you're going against. I mean, can it sometimes be as simple as that? Morse is a guy who's been around. He's 30-something years old, different than a guy who's going into his third year in the NFL.
Yeah, I mean, there is a difference. I mean, I got a chance to meet Mitch. We actually went out to dinner this spring, right when he signed, but we just happened to be in town, so we ended up going out to eat. Actually, the family and I, first time since it's been up, probably the first time since I left, I came back and actually got to see the facility. So I saw the facilities the other day last week. It was the first time I saw the practice facilities. He was in there, so I got to see him again. He's just a big dude. I mean, he is huge. I mean, you talk about a man. He is a big man. That's the way it's going now. These offensive linemen, any players, they are huge nowadays. But I think there's something to be said about a guy that size, especially the way the league's going with defensive linemen. They're getting bigger. They're getting faster. To have a guy like that, big guy that can move, and just what I know of him, he's a tough son of a gun too. I mean, I think that's what the offensive line's got to have. I think it's got to be one of those where we become an offensive line that nobody wants to mess with. Like, we're not afraid to get after it a little bit. It's okay to have a few fights every once in a while, even in practice. We want to be that type of group that will do whatever it takes to protect Trevor. And I think Mitch is that type of guy to lead that. I mean, he is. You could tell just in the few conversations I've had with him. He's a tough, no nonsense guy, and I look forward to seeing him play and leading this group up front.
That's awesome. That's good stuff from Brad Meester. All right, let's go to what you're doing now, because it's Coach Brad Meester, and you've been coaching for a while. You were even, I think, the play caller there in high school, but you've been promoted, man, right? You're running the deal. You're the head coach.
I know, I did. It's been like 6 years. So like 6 years ago, they asked me if I wanted to help out. I said, yeah, I was ready. I was going to volunteer and do some offensive line stuff. And then that kind of hooked me. You know what I mean? Once I started, I was hooked. So then I transitioned to being the offensive coordinator for 3 years, which was a completely different experience for me. I had not done anything like that. I'd only blocked my entire life. Now I'm drawing up receiver routes and concepts, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is completely new. But yeah, our head coaching spot opened up this spring, and it was a long conversation for myself, my family, obviously my wife, because it is a huge time commitment. But they knew how much it meant to me. I felt like this game, the sport of football, has given me so much over the years, from high school all the way into the NFL, not just playing or money-wise, but in just life lessons that I've learned. And I really felt like it was something I wanted to give back to the kids. So I applied and got the job. And I'm excited about it. It's been great. Looking forward to the season getting started. We started at the beginning of August, so I got another week yet. I'm excited to get going, see how this season goes. It's a lot more emails. I'm on this computer a lot more than I thought I'd ever be. I'm not a computer guy. Doing spreadsheets, emails. I was just doing a parent email this morning. It's a lot of stuff I never thought I would be doing, but it's all part of it, so it's all good. I enjoy it.
Brad, you mentioned, obviously just playing ball and just, all the memories and the camaraderie, man. And I've shared some stories with you before. We had you on a couple years ago and everything. But I don't think one story that I have shared yet that always reminds me of was my first year here in Jacksonville. And I don't mean to put you on blast, and correct me if I'm wrong here, but I remember we were talking in the locker room and everything, and all of a sudden your cell phone went off. And it was the Imperial March. And it was from Star Wars, the dun, dun. And it's going off. I'm like, oh, that's cool ringtone. And you go, excuse me, my wife is calling real quick. And so that was like his wife's ringtone. So, Brett, I got to ask you, all these years later, is your wife's ringtone on your phone, is it still the Imperial March, or have you changed it now?
It's not the same. I don't know if she's ever known that. You know what I mean? Now that you put that out there, I'm hoping
she's
not
gone
watching right now. So maybe she's not watching. But this is going to get out that it was on there. Now I'm going to get in trouble. So, no, it is not that anymore. I don't know why I put that on there. I do remember that. I do remember that conversation. I did have it on there. I was a big Star Wars fan, and I don't know why I did that. That was probably not. I was younger then.
That was hilarious, man.
I'm much older.
I still remember, so it was awesome.
I'm much more savvy now. I've learned over the years. I'm older. I was much younger then. I probably shouldn't have put that on there like that. That was a bad. I was leading you in the wrong way by telling you that, man. I should have been better.
Seven women in your house, man. You've been in trouble before. Okay, it won't be the first. It won't be the last time. Hey, what kind of offense are you running? I mean, what kind of head coach are you going to be? What's the identity of your football team out there?
It's funny. Like, so when I applied for it, I really felt like I was a mixture of a lot of people. I thought one of the things that I've been blessed with was a lot of different coaches, and I've learned a lot of different things. And there was a lot of so my high school coach, Coach Thomas, was really special to me. He had such a huge impact, not only on just the starters, he had a huge impact on everybody that played. It really affected everybody, and I want to be a little bit of that. Then obviously, going through like my NFL coaches, love Coach Coughlin. Coach Coughlin was a very firm, straightforward type of guy, but he knew he cared about you. And I love that about him. All the way to guys like Gus Bradley. I emailed or texted Gus. I just loved his style at the end. He had such an energy to him. Like I don't know that I'd been around another coach that had such great energy. Beginnings of meetings, like we'd always have music playing in our team meeting rooms. Well, that's what we're doing now. We're doing the same thing. So a lot of those same conversations that guys like that, Gus, Jack, Coach Coughlin, that have taught me, I am now sharing that. One of the things I always did is I wrote stuff down. I was 14 years into it. I had always taken notes. I was writing everything down as I possibly could. This is the way I was. I still have those. I have a huge stack of notes. And so now I'm going back through them and seeing stuff that, Gus Bradley wrote up there, how many years ago. I am now using those same things and talking about that same stuff. So I think I'm going to be a good mixture, I hope, of all that stuff.
That's really cool, by the way, and good on you. That's pretty neat that you have those piles and piles of notes over the years, and obviously a lot of different philosophies and mentors along the way to be able to influence. And the game's changed even a little bit from then. You mentioned Coach Coughlin. He's going to be inducted into the Pride of the Jaguars. My guess is you won't be able to make it back for that game. It's alumni weekend, but because you'll be coaching, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I won't be able to make it back. It's funny, like, it's weird. We came back and my wife set it up so we could come back and see the facilities. So we came back, I think it was beginning of this week. I think we came back on Sunday. Actually, it was Sunday we came back. Well, we go into the facilities and sitting there doing it was a group, was Coach Coughlin. He was sitting in the cafeteria area there of the practice facility. And it was like, I think it was a group that had bought a dinner thing at the Coughlin event. So he just happened to be there. It was awesome. Got to run into him, talk to him a little bit. I think it's absolutely awesome that he's getting inducted into the Pride. I mean, there's no better person than him. He definitely deserves that. I wish I could be back for it. I'll definitely be in season form. But I know my wife and I are talking about trying to come back to games. Once the season's done for me in high school, we always try to come back to a game, or we go to a late season game always. I know the last one I think is in Indy. We'll definitely go to that, and we will. Our goal is always to try to make every playoff game. Since I have been done, we have not missed a playoff game yet. We have made, New England, Pittsburgh, to the last home game against the Chargers where we won there. So we've made it to all of them. We want to keep trying to make it to them as many as we can.
Yeah, I love the fans love seeing you on the road, and wherever you end up, you and your wife Jamie and a wonderful family. So give everybody our best. I will leave you with this though. Do you think you'll ever get the itch to coach at this level after the high school stuff and all your experiences, where even if it's as an offensive line coach in the NFL? I mean, has that crept onto your radar at all in the future? You're still a young guy.
Yeah, I don't know. If you would have asked me 10 years ago would I be coaching high school football, I would have told you no. So I don't know what that answer is. I think I'm really going to enjoy the high school end of it. Just having an impact on young kids. But I don't know. I don't know what the future holds. I would always entertain it. The always hard part, the dilemma for me always is the number one priority for me is my family, and be able to have time with them. I know that at this level, there's a huge time commitment to being in and things like that. And so at the moment, that is not on my radar just because I love being with my family. High school football still allows me to do that, be able to watch my kids' stuff. But who knows what the future holds? At some point, my kids will all be out of school. Still got a while, but at some point they will be all out of school and out of the house. So who knows what happens then? Time will tell.
All right. Well, I wish I had the Imperial March queued up on my phone, but I don't.
I can't believe you brought that up, bro. I really can't.
That's all good.
Hey, tell everybody hello, and nice job getting on here, by the way. You passed the technical test, so you'll be ready for this upcoming football season, and good luck coaching those boys out there in Iowa.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me on.
You bet, man. Thank you.
Bye.
That is Brad Meester, Mr. Jaguar, of course. Longtime Jaguars center. Really great stuff dissecting the center position.
Amazing.
We really got in the weeds on that, but I loved it. And, man, Brad and Jamie and the family, so awesome. They're great. And fans, I'm telling you, they just go sit, by the way. When they go to those playoff games, they just go find an end zone seat or something like that. I know Steph and the kids in Kansas City were like a row next to him.
Yeah.
And I've always said this about Brad, which I love about him, because I saw him last year in Nashville, and once in a while we'll connect if they're going to a road game or something, and we can. And I always had said this is before I even knew Brad probably as well as I do now. I was like, he's the guy that you could see in Lot J tailgating.
Of course. Yeah.
And you never know that he was the guy snapping the football inside that.
Of course.
And I mean, that's like the best compliment I can give somebody.
Yeah.
He is about as normal as a dude. I don't even know what he made in his career, all those things. He's about as normal as a human being as you will find, I think, at the professional level.
No, you know how I feel about it, man. The biggest compliment I can ever give somebody is that I would have a beer with him. And I would have a beer with Brad Meester, beers plural. But man, it's just he's Mr. Jaguar, you know, and through all the years that I've known him, obviously he was a great teammate. He was a great locker room guy, and he was a guy who knew exactly who he was. You know, I feel like sometimes as players, you know, they can get caught up in the spotlight. They get caught up with all the money. They get caught up with the outside presence, the social media, and it can affect your character. And I don't know if it's the center position. I don't know if it's being from Iowa. I don't know if it's a combination of having a big family with a lot of daughters. I don't know, whatever it is, man. But, like, you don't see too many of those guys like Brad Meester. You know, that they're cut from a different cloth, man. And Jacksonville's a better franchise for having had someone like him.
Absolutely. Such a good guy that he takes a little break on vacation from the beach to jump on with us here in Jacksonville. Hope they enjoy the rest of their vacation. Let's do this. Let's take a break. Brent Austen Show. Everybody's kind of cleared out of here, but we're here until 1 o'clock. We have a one-on-one with Christian Kirk still to come with Marcel Robinson. We asked this question. I loved what you said. Who are the hyped-up players of camps of yesteryear, if you will? Who's going to be that guy? Like, let's try to predict, because it just got rolling. I mean, it can't be that guy yet. Yep. Who's going to be that guy? And do they often live up to it? Do some of them live up to it, or is it like when the time they get in there and the real light shine, it's like, that was a cool story, but we'll go there. Coming up here from the Miller Electric Center, Jags headquarters, Training Camp 2024. It's the Brent Austen Show, and we will be back on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network. Summertime means sizzling sales at Nimnick Buick GMC. The #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville has lots of inventory to choose from with their best price guarantee. Nimnick never charges above MSRP. You can save up to $10,000 off select new GMC Sierras or get rates as low as 1.9%. You know, I'm a truck guy. GMC Sierra, my trim level is an SLT. This one's an Elevation. Pretty good looking color as well. So here at Nimnick Buick GMC, you have a lot to pick from. My father-in-law, he drives this, an Enclave, so I feel like that GMC in the family. 2025 is coming around the corner, which means it's almost time to close out those 2024s this summer. You can schedule a test drive at NimnickBuickGMC.com, and while you're there, check your trade value and customize your payment options. Nimnick is there for you, even on Sundays. Visit the showroom on Phillips Highway or shop online at NimnickBuickGMC.com. Nimnick, your friends in the car business since 1941. GMC, we are professional grade.
It's hard to put a price on comfort, especially when you use that comfort on a daily basis. But if we're going to put a price on it, how does the lowest price guaranteed sound? Furniture Source is going to have the biggest brands, whether it's Ashley, Casper, or Tempur-Pedic, and once again, it's going to be the guaranteed lowest price in Jacksonville. Right now, my friends at Furniture Source are going to give you the ultimate hookup because all month long, they're making their inventory wholesale price. Check out their markdowns up to 50% off. And remember, since it's Furniture Source, you're getting the guaranteed lowest prices in Florida or your money back. Don't have the cash on you right now? It's no worry. Shop endless options to suit your style and budget and enjoy 36 months off with no interest financing. Why use your money when you can use theirs? Whether it's beds, couches, tables, or chairs, Furniture Source is going to have exactly what you're looking for. Shop the lowest prices in Jacksonville guaranteed. Find the location nearest you at FurnitureSourceJacks.com.
People helping people. It's at the core of what Alive Credit Union is all about, and it's been that way for over 70 years. From 1954 to 2024, the mission remains to inspire financial wellness and give you a financially fit lifestyle. Alive Credit Union and its employees are committed to not only serving their valued members, but also our community here in Northeast Florida. That commitment includes a partnership with the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 team as the presenting sponsor of all Armada men's and women's broadcasts this summer. Action Sports Jacks and Alive Credit Union, a partnership that just makes sense when it comes to covering Northeast Florida. Alive Credit Union's commitment to our community also involves serving the financial needs of our first responders through the recent merger partnership with City and Police Federal Credit Union. Join the community and become a member of Alive Credit Union today. Find out the many ways you can be inspired in financial wellness at alivecu.coop.
Oh man, it is that time. I love being outside, but it is just so hot. Oh my gosh, I cannot be outside. Well, you know, it doesn't have to be. As a matter of fact, I've got the perfect solution for you to be able to stay outdoors and I look like this guy.
GW Outdoor Solutions has the solution that will help you create areas of shade with their automated retractable awning. As the summer months inch closer, the high temperatures will be right there too. With GW Outdoor Solutions, go from scorching to cooling in no time with one simple push of a button. These innovative shade solutions not only provide protection from the sun and rain, but also add style and functionality to your home. Let GW Outdoor Solutions transform your backyard into paradise. Check out gwoutdoorliving.com for your free estimate.
New to town or always been in town, everyone is always looking for a good pizza place. Our place is Donato's Pizza. We love it and still do love it. When I tell my family I'm coming to Donato's, they say, wait a minute, you got to order some for us. So this is not all for me. Let me tell you what the Martinos get when we put an order in. Well, pepperoni pizza, we usually get more than one of these. And then there's the works, a little bit of everything. And then this is the pizza that can be polarizing for some out there. I don't know why. Hawaiian pizza, some love it, some don't. At Donato's, you're going to love it, especially with that cinnamon sprinkled on top. Try the pizza my family likes or try your favorite. Right now, you can use the code Brent20 and get 20% off your order. Every viewer and listener is important to us, and at Donato's Pizza, every piece is important. From fresh ingredients to the dedicated team members and you, the valued customer. Donato's Pizza, where every piece comes together for a winning combination. Jack's Beach and Mandarin locations, Donato's Pizza. Every piece is important.
Welcome back to the Brent and Austen Show, streaming on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network.
There's a look at the Miller Electric Center and Jags headquarters Saturday. So practice. Had Brad Meester on. He was fantastic, by the way, on the center position. Has spoken to him a couple of different times. I really like the insight that Brad had about that. Of course, we had some fun stuff with Brad as well. But good day, too, here at training camp for the Jags. A day where the defense won the day. I mean, Dewey had 2 picks right there in the corner of the end zone against Trevor Lawrence. Trevor got picked in, I think, a 7-on-7 even earlier by Ronald Darby. There was a fumble recovery by Foye. Just overall, even if I took those away, I would say the defense looked like they were on the point even more than the offense. So it's not going to be an offensive day that everybody's going to brag about.
No, not at all. And I'm sure some could hit the panic button on Trevor Lawrence a little bit. Everybody's relax. All right, it was a second practice. Things will get cleared up a little bit. But definitely shout out to Dewey for getting the game ball for his performance today with 2 interceptions on Trevor Lawrence. And also shout out to you for getting the game ball as well, Brent, because you've managed to find the only sun spot in the whole entire practice facility. We are surrounded by shade, but you have us on the center of the sun right now somehow. Props to you for doing that. I actually checked in with Liv, the Action Sports Jax lady in the street. I don't like the way that sounds, actually. No, I don't like the way lady in the street sounds. Liv Morgan, what would you say? Whatever, man. I don't like man on the street. Okay,
Olivia Castley.
But you said man on the street, right? You said man on the street.
Yeah.
But then you see lady on the street and just figure that out. But anyways,
it doesn't go as well.
So she has confirmed yesterday, Brent, we talked about, much to your chagrin, Ronald Darby's 100 tattoo.
Oh, yeah.
If it was a permanent marker or like a Sharpie or something, that is indeed a real tattoo on Ronald Darby.
It is.
Confirmed by Liv, yes.
So how you feel about that?
Hey, just keep doing you, man.
Keep getting picks, and you're 100.
Keep doing you. I just figured someone in their 30s wouldn't have like a lot of emojis tattooed on them, but I guess 30 is still pretty young.
It is the emoji.
Yeah, it's the emoji 100. Yeah, but I guess that's 6 years difference from when I played, so there is a difference there.
All right,
we'll allow it.
You're backtracking a little bit.
Well, yeah, I am backtracking a little bit. Yeah. It's good point.
Hey, let's try to backpedal a little bit with Christian Kirk. Marcel Robinson caught up with him this week as camp gets going. Of course, huge part of it for Trevor Lawrence and the Jags offense, and we saw that when he went down with an injury. But now he's back 100%, ready to go. And a healthy Christian Kirk is usually a good Christian Kirk. He had a career year. His first year in Jacksonville, had a chance to have another career year if he didn't get hurt. Here's Marcel Robinson catching up with Christian Kirk.
This is your first training camp as a married man. Man, first off, before we get into football, how's married life doing?
Yeah, it's been great. Me and my wife have just been enjoying every single moment of, being in those early stages of being married, and just coming together as one has been really cool. And, we've already grown so much. So it's just been a blessing. And, I really take pride in, being a husband now and, just being my best, for her and, our family.
Is the leave for camp any different? Obviously, you guys have been together for a while, so technically it's not necessarily different, but this is your first time leaving for a camp, as a husband. Was it any different in the household?
I think the part that was different is we've been together every single day for a long time, because you think about it, my season ended early, and, she was with me every step of the way during rehab, recovery, and I wasn't in the facility for a while, so I've pretty much been in the off season since December. So it's been a long time. We've been together and just going through a lot of things, and so it's definitely a little harder leaving. I think because we hadn't been away from each other for an extended period of time. But she's just excited for me, and I'm excited as well, just for this new season and coming back and being healthy.
You're gonna have one heck of a honey-do list when you get back.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, I try to get it done on my off day so it doesn't compile to September when we're done.
Awesome, man. Well, we're back. Obviously, training camp. This is the first time all you guys kind of get on the grass. As an organized unit, man. Just talk about the early thoughts, the conversations coming into the building and getting on the grass for the first time that we've seen you.
Yeah, I think it's been good. Obviously, there's a lot of excitement of everybody coming in yesterday, getting back together, seeing faces after a long summer, and then getting out on the field today, and just knowing that we're starting our journey. You look around and a lot of these guys are going to be the guys that take us to where we want to go. And so it's just kind of building that unity. We talked a lot last night as players about, our vision and who we want to be, and then holding each other to a standard. And I think that's the biggest thing, is holding each other to a standard and getting better every single day.
You just mentioned that your season ended early last year. How has it been, for you specifically, to be able to get back on the grass? You've been doing your workouts and rehab and everything, but to kind of get back on the grass in this space, how has that been for you?
It's been great. To be honest, even during OTAs and minicamp, I wasn't, where I wanted to be, just because I still had some work to do to get my body to where I felt, 100%. And, I did some great work back home in Arizona. I'm pain-free. I feel great moving around there today. And so I'm just really excited because I hadn't felt that way in a long time. So I just know when I'm out there and I'm 100%, I can do some good things. So it's just exciting to be back in that space.
Is it safe to say that you're past that sort of maybe mental hurdle of being back? Because obviously physically you've been right for a long time, but to have that mental knowledge that, hey, I can get out here and do what I do best?
For sure, yeah, because I was in that space where I was just guarded and protected, for a long time, and, not really sure what my body was going to feel or do. And so now I can just go out there and play free.
Talk to me about that room, the receiver room you guys have. It's stacked. It's been stacked year after year, but this year come in, obviously, you, Gabe, bringing in Brian Thomas Jr., talk about, what you've seen and what you expect from this receiving core, of course, but that guy we'll talk about in a second, throwing you guys the ball.
Yeah, it's been great. Obviously having Gabe, who's been in, the NFL for a while and who has done it at a high level, and then, having Brian, who's a new guy with a lot of talent that has a lot to learn. It's just been a cool dynamic, and I definitely don't take the position of being a leader lightly. I love just giving back and teaching guys, and because we have the room that wants to get better. That's the good thing, is we have a lot of young guys that really can that can play, but you just need some facilitation from the old guys, just kind of bring them along. And when they have down days, because that's going to happen in training camp, is you're going to face a little adversity. So it's just on us to bring these guys along, and we're only as good as our weakest link.
Speaking of those young guys, we'll talk about them. Brian Thomas Jr., obviously impressive during rookie camp, impressive during OTAs. Obviously, as you guys kind of go along, he's going to figure more things out. But you guys have always been high on him about where he's at and where his trajectory is. You see him out there running some routes and during some of the plays, and you guys kind of coaching him up a little bit. Where is he in terms of that progression that you feel?
Yeah, no, I think he's pretty far along. He's done a really good job of, understanding our scheme, understanding, his role in a certain concept, and because the athletic talent is there. I mean, he's got it all. He's tall, he's fast. He creates a lot of separation, and so, let alone just him from a raw talent standpoint, he's already a mismatch. And so, it's just the coaches really trying to throw him in different spots, kind of see what he can do and see how much he can retain. And so far, he's retained a lot of it. So I really like his demeanor. I think he has a great head on his shoulders. And so, like I said, it's just, everything's not going to go perfectly. There's going to be some adversity and things are going to go wrong, but he'll get through it, and it's on us older guys to just help him, kind of navigate his way through his first year in the NFL.
Last couple for you. We got Trevor Lawrence talking right next to us. Obviously, your guy, he's Jacksonville's guy now, getting paid. How big of a deal is to see a guy like him get, not only rewarded for his performance, but also be, have that commitment that he's going to be the guy going forward.
Yeah, I think there's nobody more deserving, than Trevor. Obviously, I think very highly of him. He's a great friend of mine, and just been able to see him grow from year 2 to where he is now, all the things that he's endured, all the work that he's put in, and even through some of the darkest times, he never blinked, never wavered, and just continued to just working towards where he wanted to be and putting this team where it needs to be. And that's not an easy position to be in, especially when you're 22, 23, 24 years old. And I always talk about just his maturity is beyond his years. So it was really cool to see him get rewarded in the way that he should have. And I think Jacksonville and the Jaguars organization itself couldn't have made a better decision in committing to him for the next 7 years, 8 years. So just really excited for him, and it'll be a great opportunity for him.
Last question for you. Not just Trevor, but to see Trevor, see Josh, see Tyson, all these guys getting paid, deservingly for their performance. But even bigger, these are guys that are drafted by this team, the younger guys that they've developed and they've shown improvement, which is a really big deal because that may not necessarily have been the case here, but to see those young guys get rewarded, how much does that help, the overall morale in the locker room?
Yeah, it helps a lot. I think it sends a message too, to other teams around the league. But, for a young guy, if you're in this locker room, if you come in and number one, you got to be a good person, handle yourself correctly, be a pro, be a good teammate, because you look at all three of those guys, they're three of the most high character guys we have on our team. And so I think that speaks volumes to, the type of guys that, this organization wants. And, because if you have those guys, everybody else kind of falls in line, especially in those certain groups. So I think number one for the young guys is just being a pro, being a good person. And then, if you go out and handle business, on the field, you'll get rewarded for it. So, I hope, guys use it as motivation because, you look up and you blink, it'll be your turn. And, obviously there's a lot of variables that have to go your way. But as long as you control what you can control and you put your best foot forward, then it'll all fall in place.
3 out of 4 high character guys. I put you in there.
Yeah, I guess so.
Appreciate you, man.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Well, that is Christian Kirk, and no doubt one of those high-character guys. He's a pro's pro, really fun to listen, and look forward to seeing what he does in 2024, building off the first couple of years in Jacksonville. And there's probably no better comfort blanket on the football field than Christian Kirk for Trevor Lawrence. I think everybody knows that. Great relationship off the field as well, and we'll see if it evolves even more on the field in 2024. We're taking a break. We're coming back. Brent Austen Show live from Jags Training Camp in the books for day 2, but we're not done talking about it. What about some guys that get all the hype during camp? Do they live up to it in the regular season? Who will it be this time around? We've got more practice video to show you as well, and hopefully a little bit later in the show hear from Josh Hines-Allen. It's been a fun one here on a Thursday on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network. It's a new logo, new branding. With Bold City Heating and Air, it's an old school approach. One of the few locally owned and operated air conditioning businesses left in Jacksonville. It's hot, Florida in the summer. You can't do much to avoid it, but you can keep cool with Bold City Heating and Air. It's every customer counts kind of service, from when these trucks have pulled up to my home over the last couple of years and when they pull into your driveway as well. From communication to pricing to the actual service, everyone at Bold City Heating and Air cares about you. You know who is coming to your house. You know they will be well trained, and they will respect your home. Air conditioning convenience at boldcityac.com. Stay cool while it gets hot. Bold City Heating and Air can help. Don't get caught sweating all summer. boldcityac.com. and they have financing to help. New systems starting at $110 a month and $50 off any repairs. Stay safe, stay comfortable with Bolt City Heating and Air at BoltCityAC.com. Homegrown in your hometown.
Building off a summer of terrific action at Southern Oaks Stadium, the Jacksonville Armada are looking forward to the future and the return of pro soccer in Northeast Florida. Season ticket reservations for MLS Next Pro are underway, and for just $100, you can lock in some great benefits when it comes to supporting the boys in blue. Those who make a reservation will have first selection options in the new Armada Stadium out east near Jacksonville's downtown sporting complex, as well as access to supporter VIP events like stadium tours, open training sessions, and future meet and greets with players and coaches. You can make your season ticket reservations at jacksonvillearmada.com/ticket. And while you're there, read the very latest on the Armada men's and women's teams in action this summer. Show your commitment to the fleet with an MLS Next Pro season ticket reservation at jacksonvillearmada.com/ticket.
In Northeast Florida, we love hanging out on the back patio, maybe grilling out lunch or dinner with the family, enjoying the good weather, or maybe enjoying the big game on the TV. Or maybe your favorite team in town, the Action Sports Jacks team. This is great, except for when it's really hot or the bugs start coming out. But what if you didn't have to worry about that? Titan Outdoor Solutions will make your outdoor area a comfortable spot any time of the day, any time of the year. This makes too much sense. Titan Outdoor Solutions can give your home an upgrade. Customized pergolas, awnings, controlled shade, even retractable screens. The solution to beating the heat and the bugs and getting more use out of your home is Titan Outdoor Solutions. And this can even help prevent storm damage at your home. Living in Florida and living in your home is already good. Now make it great. Quality products, custom work, locally owned and operated. Visit TitanShuttersAndScreens.com or call 904-484-7580.
I was tempted.
It's more than just food. It's a tradition, a heritage. It's about my family and the smiles on their faces. It's about the flavor, the meat, the love, the community. Our community. Barbecue is who we are, and it's what we do.
Thank you for making Action News Jacks the best in Jacks and Folio's Best of Jacks 2023. Best TV station, Best TV newscast, Best TV morning show. Chandler Morgan voted Best TV anchor. The Chief, Mike Burrish, voted Best meteorologist. And Brent Martineau voted Best TV sports anchor. And while you're on the go, Best news website and Best local blog, The Burrish Blog. Thank you for making Action News Jacks local coverage you can count on.
It's the place we party in football season with Jaguars All Access. Welcome to Spring Sports Brewery, everybody. Say hello to our guest tonight. That is Trevor Lawrence. You can bring your party or event to Spring Sports Brewery in Springfield any day and any time. Rehearsal dinners, corporate events, birthdays. Here at Strings, you can enjoy the inside area and the outside area. Good for any weather, good for any occasion. Watch the games, play the games, shoot some hoops. Beer? Yeah, they have that. Plenty of choices. And sure, this is a brewery, but Strings is also a restaurant, and the food is fantastic. A full menu made from scratch meals. And if you need String Sports Brewery to help with a party at your place, they cater too. Family, beer, food, sports. Spring Sports Brewery in Springfield.
Welcome back to the Brent and Austen Show, streaming on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network.
Hey, welcome back to Jags headquarters as the Jags are inside those buildings now and meeting after showering up. And I don't know, you probably hit the weight room today too. You got to do a little bit of everything. Yeah. And you kind of settle into the football season of 2024. Brent Martin, Austin Lane, fully settled in now. As we're kind of by ourselves hanging out here at Jags Training Camp. It's somewhat nice. They started early and then finish it pretty early and got the rest of the day. Now, if your day ends at midnight like some, it's a little bit of a different deal, but it is kind of nice to get it done before the heat of the day.
Yeah.
For all the players, for the fans, for everybody else, I think. And for us, even though it's pretty dang hot right here.
It's a little toasty, Brent, but good call moving the fan over here a little bit.
I'm trying. I either could have moved the whole operation like 10 feet.
Yeah.
Which I thought was like, oh, man, if I do that and something goes off, we're screwed.
Yeah, that's true. Stick it out.
Or just move the fan.
Yep.
Now, I even thought about putting the fan over here, but I thought it would be too loud.
True, yeah.
And I don't know if it will blow everything else out of the circuit, off circuit. So I'm not that smart when it comes to that stuff.
Well, and I'm really curious to see how well this new Apple laptop's going to be holding up here in this heat as well, because you're really pushing it to the limits, man.
I am.
I mean, we're still in preseason here, and this laptop has been through more than we can ever imagine.
I know. I've got a hood.
Yeah.
I got the replay hood.
But it's a black hood, which I feel like you're toasting it even more. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know how it can't be as bad as leaving it out in the sun.
I would think not, but I feel like the black hood doesn't do it a lot of favor. We'll find out.
We're going to find out.
Expense it. Expense that bad boy.
Yeah. It's things like 2 weeks old.
Yeah.
I need a new one.
Hey, and by the way, we saw front of the show, John Shipley there. Are you a little bitter that John treated me like when he saw me like I was like his long-lost brother that we haven't seen in like 10 years, and he kind of treated you like, I don't know, I'm at the DMV waiting to get my number?
Yeah. Chipley, who I'm a big fan of.
Yeah. Great dude.
He's like, hey, what's up, Brent? And then he sees Austin. He's like, Austin!
Oh, yeah, man. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, what the hell, John? I didn't get that kind of intro.
Brent, I haven't seen him in like a year, though, okay? Come on.
I get it.
I'm surprised I didn't see him at the Limp Bizkit concert because he's such a big Limp Bizkit fan.
Is he really?
No, he can't actually stand him. We had a big thing a couple years ago at training camp about Limp Bizkit.
That was kind of a funny moment. I'll give you another funny moment. Then I want to ask you about something that I don't think fans usually care about, but I think this time they do.
Okay.
So I'm in the car yesterday. We had a little celebration for John Bachman.
Yeah.
Down in near where he lives. His wife coordinated just a little small gathering. So I stopped by, and so about 9:15, I'm coming back to the house.
Okay.
And I see a spider. Like I'm not like freaked out by spiders. Like,
Okay.
I mean, I'm not like overly comfortable with spiders, but I'm not freaked out.
Okay.
But sometimes, the spiders look worse than they are.
Sure.
Most of the time they look worse than they are.
Yeah.
So I see the spider going across my window.
Okay.
And to the point where I'm not sure if it's outside or in.
Okay, is it a big, what kind of spider are we talking about here?
It's like a good size. It's not a daddy long legs.
Okay,
But it's one of those, but these are the bigger, like the quarter size ones, or maybe even like a $50 size ones, are the ones like, I don't know, man, those could be the bad ones.
Yeah.
They make you think a little bit. They got a little color to them.
Yeah.
You're like, I don't know, man, that looks a little freaky.
Yeah.
So I'm starting to drive, I'm driving though. As I see this.
Would have pulled over, but yeah, go ahead.
Well, yeah, I'm not even sure I was in a great spot to pull, but I'm like, okay, I don't know. Should I let this thing go? Should I just take care of it now so I don't wonder where it is?
Yep.
So I had a piece of paper, I think where our credentials were in, that envelope actually.
Yep.
And so I folded it up and I like kind of whacked them. It was right under the mirror at this time.
Mm-hmm.
But like at this time, it didn't matter like if I ran into a car. Like a guardrail, people. Like I was just so consumed by this spider that I'm like, I was not paying attention to the road at that point. All right? I'm just going to be honest. Like I'm like, this is not healthy. But my mission is to not have this spider go hide and be somewhere making babies.
Yeah.
All right. So I did, and I'm like, did I get it? You always wonder, like, did you get it?
Of course.
And so I'm driving, I'm looking, I'm like, I got it.
Oh, you got it.
Because it's kind of dark out. So I actually am flashing my flashlight on my phone now.
Yeah.
To see if I got it. Well, he's like, I think I clipped a couple of legs off him. I didn't like totally smush him.
Yeah.
But I got him enough where he's just like, there.
Okay. Suffering. Yep, good.
I don't know, though. I think he might be gone, or I don't know if he's alive.
Well, I mean, if you lost some legs, there's going to be a little bit of a suffering process here. Let's be honest. Let's call it like it is. No, I mean, hey, you do what you had to do, man.
Well, okay. But that's not the end of the story.
Okay.
So I think that's the case.
Okay.
I get home. I park. I look to go get it so I can clean them off and dispose of them.
Yes.
It's not there. I didn't get them. So now I'm
pissed. Well, now he's pissed.
So I know now I'm actually thinking of that too. I'm like, now
he's pissed.
he might be mad spider.
Yeah, man.
So
start sleeping with some earmuff signs. Gonna try to lay eggs in your ears at night.
is that a thing? Does that happen?
Could be. Yeah, why not?
I've heard of spiders go in your muck. You swallow spiders.
Yeah.
I've never heard of, like, laying eggs in your ear.
I bet in the history of spiders, someone like a spider has crawled in someone's ear and laid some eggs for sure.
But I am looking at this and I'm like, I don't know where he is. So now I start peeking around. I'm like, is he over there? Is he over there? But I'm like, I'm not going to sit there all night and look for the spider.
No, for sure.
And I finally give up. I'm like, whatever. I'll try to close up any food I have, anything like that.
Yeah.
Life goes on. But I'm not going to lie. This morning, I didn't forget about the spider.
Yep.
I started looking around and seeing what spider. I have no idea where the spider is in my car.
All of a sudden, you sit down with a giant web in your face, all stuck to you. Maybe could have called like the AC or something.
I know, like you know those. There's so many like nooks and crannies for a spider to get.
Yeah.
But I'm just telling you, I have no idea if arachnophobia is about to hit my truck.
I mean, I'm feeling nervous just sitting by you because now you're kind of on the hit list a little bit. You didn't finish the job, man. You gotta always finish the job. Do you care about spiders? Like, would you be like that? Because I'm not freaked out about stuff, but it is wild how stuff starts to run through your mind in that situation. No, spiders freak me out.
All right, where is the guy? Like, it's like, okay, there's one on my leg now.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, honestly, that situation, I'm not sure what I would have done because a part of me wants to say, like, all right, I would just like let it be until I got home. But the other part would be like, well, if I just let it be, then I will be staring at it the entire ride home and then not focusing on the road. So that's a rough situation. I'm not sure what I would have done.
I'm not gonna. Let's go to Nick.
Nick the Dates.
I have no idea if anybody's gonna be able to hear him.
Probably doesn't know what a spider is.
But we're so far out of left field on Nick that I wouldn't be surprised if this dude had a pet spider.
Grew up on a spider farm. Here we go.
No, hate him. Can't stand him. I see one, I pull over, no matter the circumstance of where I'm at. I go from whoever I am to spider exterminator. I don't go nowhere until it's dead. Over stuff. Smushed, smeared, whatever. He's gone.
Oh man. So Nick, like in your house, like if you saw a bug and you had friends there and everything, are you the guy that's gonna take care of it, or do you want someone else to do it for you? And be honest,
depends
please.
on what kind of bug it is and how
spider
urgent the matter is going to be. Spider, immediate, done, gone. Don't matter.
Okay.
I'm not going to take long enough to identify if it's a nice spider or a bad spider. It's dead, on site, done, done.
I don't know if do people freak out more about snakes or spiders?
Oh man, snakes, right? Because even a small snake, like the way that it moves, I think freaks people out freaky. A little bit. Yeah. And like, I'll be honest, like I have no problem like killing a spider or whatever. Like when you get a snake, I don't know how to handle that.
Yeah, the snake is a different beast.
Yeah,
I think the snake's scary because just kind of you have to shovel it. And plus, if you had a snake in your car, there's no shovels. If I had a snake in my car, by the way, I think I would pull over and get out.
Oh, I'll get a new car. I'll go to Auto Trader right at that moment.
Nimnik Buick GMC, by the way.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Exactly, yeah. And then I would sell that bad boy in a second. Nice save there, Brent. Fix the land.
I'm surprised you don't have a... You didn't have a pet spider, man. I thought that would be you, Nick.
What an insult. No one in the history of anything in conversation in a good light has said, hey, I'm surprised you didn't have a spider growing up or something. Like, no one's ever had that in a positive light, Brent.
Yeah, I guess not. I don't know. Yeah. Hey, I've got to ask you guys about the NBA. The NBA TV deal.
Yeah.
Which, I'm interested in some TV deals. I'm not fully interested, but I think it's kind of fascinating. This one is one that fans are interested in. Now, fans are interested in like the DirecTV stuff with the NFL and how you're going to watch. How's it going to impact me? I don't even think this is it. You can get the NBA now. For the next 10 years, this deal, you're going to be able to get the NBA. That's not going to be a problem. Wherever you get your stuff. And by the way, the NBA is going to eventually show, it sounds like, the finals in streaming fashion because they did a big deal with Amazon. Yeah. And I don't know if it's not ABC and ESPN, I think, have most of it, but eventually they're going to get to that point, which shows you where our world is going. Action Sports Jax 24/7 Network.
We're at the forefront, Brent.
We are at the forefront.
Yeah.
But they know it, right? And that's where it's going to be. But the big story is TNT's not getting it. And which I thought was the story, Austin. I already thought this, but then they came in and said, hey, we're going to match it. They feel actually like they matched it, and the NBA said, no, you really didn't.
Yeah.
And so now there's going to be probably like some court stuff and everything else. But the end-all, be-all, this is nobody cares if it's on TNT or ABC or whatever. They care about the show.
Yes.
They care about Chuck, right? Who already
Inside
said he's
the NBA.
retiring.
Yeah.
But they care about Shaq. They care about it's wild that fans care that much about that show that this business move of the NBA interests them.
Yeah, I mean, number one, you talk about the sports halftime show maybe of all time, bar none.
Yeah.
It's that entertaining. And yeah, when the NBA got the Amazon deal done, it was all but a conclusion of, okay, well, say goodbye to Shaq and Chuck and Ernie and Kenny because they're done. They're still with the Warner Brothers or whatever. Well, then at the last second, basically Warner Brothers comes in and says, you know what, we want to make a play for this. And by our understanding, they offered the same amount of money as Amazon did. Because right now, Warner Brothers,
or something.
If you've been following them, they've been hurting in terms of content and everything. They've like their stock's really been plummeting.
Interesting.
So I think like the NBA was kind of the Hail Mary to say, hey, let's keep this consistent thing around and let's make an offer here. So they make an offer, and once again, this is what you read, but supposedly it was the same amount of money that Amazon offered, and the NBA turned it down. And once again, we don't really care if we watch the NBA, but we do care about the greatest halftime show of all time with some of the greatest personalities of all time, and that's kind of the nail in the coffin. And it's a shame. It sucks.
Yeah, I was trying to think, has there ever been a show like that?
Not even close, I think.
I mean, not like we can say there's a number one show. I'm just saying, when I was a kid, I loved like NBC. I think it was NFL Live. I think it was Costas. I think that was the name of the show. I always say it was NFL Live, but Costas hosted it. Had like Will McDonough on it. It was just we had like 3 channels then, right? I mean, so it was that was the show.
Yeah.
I actually think like Good Morning Football was a very good show. Their original cast of Good Morning Football, and the new one's fine too, but it's not like the old one.
Yeah, I mean, you had like the ESPN sports reporters.
Yeah,
for a nice Sunday snooze fest.
But I don't know if a show like we know this show's really good and everybody loves it, but I just don't know if there's been a show that people even paid attention to the business side of things so much that they're like, please don't take it away.
No,
or
for
somebody
real.
go adopt the show.
Exactly.
Like, why doesn't Amazon just go pay these guys?
Yeah, I mean, that's a great... Well, they're in a contract.
Well, okay, so buy them out.
Buy them out, yeah, which, I mean, I don't know how much... excuse me. I don't know how much that would cost, but...
Well, it doesn't matter. They're Amazon. Doesn't matter how much
That's
it
a good
costs.
point, yeah. I mean, that's a great point. Yeah, it's unfortunate, because I think from the NBA side, too, you could have said... And I get what the NBA is doing, right? Amazon's going to bring a lot more audience, I think, than Warner Brothers would, right? Amazon's the biggest thing right now. So I get what the NBA was doing with siding with Amazon, but once again, I feel like you kill a little bit of the heart and soul of the NBA by going with this Amazon deal. Now, maybe Amazon can buy out everybody, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen. So, you have to start a new halftime show, a new intro show and everything, and it's not going to be the same. So it's really the end of an era, if you will. And like, you want to talk about like all these, like the Skip Bayless show and the Shannon Sharp and all these shows, man. And like, yeah, that's something, but like you got to pay your tribute and give your flowers to, I think, the OGs of like what combined sports culture with like meme culture.
Yeah, that's good.
Like social media culture. Like they were really the first ones to do it. And guess what? They didn't have to read from a script. They didn't have to be anything but themselves. Like it was always genuine. And then that to me is what makes it such a great halftime show.
Yeah, and by the way, everybody will try to duplicate it now, and it'll probably be one that you can't duplicate.
No.
One other thing, and I was listening to Miller and Moulton this morning on our Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network, and they were bringing this up. So I steal it from them because it kind of like blew up my eardrums. I was like, because of the deal, we might not be that far off, I don't know how many years, from having like $100 million player in the NBA per year. We're talking quarterback salaries going up 55, 60, right? Like that's not. I saw a headline today where Dak Prescott could he get $65 million or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, I guess we're getting there.
Bronny, yeah. Bronny will get that one day.
But who just got? Tatum just got. Yep. At some point, his deal will max out like $71 million a year.
Yeah, and that's the new high.
But I mean, these guys are getting paid $55 million for 17 games. Mm-hmm. It's 80. You're almost getting paid $1 million per game in the NBA if you get to that level. Not only going to be a few guys that could get to that level, but that would be jarring. Wouldn't it be $100 million for one player? But that's the business. That's where you go. I mean, it's amazing. And I always say this. the domino effect of those dollars is Roy Robertson Harris yesterday just bought a little piece of the Jacksonville Iceman.
Yeah.
And this is a guy making like $10 million a year.
Yeah.
And we were like, he's only making $10 million a year. Right?
Yeah.
But those guys that are making X amount of money, like we're talking, I mean, you're a business person, so your impact is not just sports. Your impact then becomes all these other entities that your business, your brand is in.
Yeah.
It's amazing, man. It's just amazing. And it's happened kind of fast. Whatever, I don't know exactly when. I don't know who was making what in 2005, let's just say. But let's just take a 20-year sample.
Yeah.
And it's grown like, I mean, it's like Bitcoin 2011 against Bitcoin like 2024.
For sure. And listen, I'm not naive to this, right? Let's call it like it is. Money rules everything, right? Like, money's the reason why we're not going to see the inside the NBA anymore, I guess, after this up-and-coming season.
Yeah. Yeah, don't care about quality, right?
But and that's the thing. And what I worry about a little bit as the deals get bigger and bigger, and they get longer, and they get unprecedented, I just hope that you don't lose the heart and soul of a lot of the sport, and it becomes too watered down and almost like too commercial.
Yeah.
You know, like what made Chuck and Shaq and Ernie was the professional one of the group, but like he did a great job of wrangling them in, and then you had Kenny who was like the instigator, but like what made it real was like it wasn't watered down, it was genuine. You know, and I feel like when you bring a lot of money to the table sometimes and then you start watering things down, you lose it being genuine a little bit, and you lose more of like, all right, well, let's try to go get our money. And I don't like that. And I think sometimes we even see that. I'm not trying to call anybody out here, Brent, but I think sometimes we see that on like national sports talk shows where, you know, are you being genuine or are you trying to get the clickbait?
Yeah.
You know,
most of the time clickbait.
No, for sure. Yeah. Maybe we should probably do more of that. You know, we saw what the Patrick Mahomes numbers did, you know, with the whole body thing. But I just hope that they can keep the heart and soul of it, you know. And when you talk about inside the NBA now, kind of being an afterthought, you lost a lot of heart and soul of basketball.
Yeah. Hey, let's switch back to football here as the Jaguars are getting the practice field ready for tomorrow. This thing's going to take a beating over the next few weeks, but they do a fantastic job here at the Miller Electric Center. You brought up something interesting when we were thinking about topics today, and there are players that get hyped up every year.
Calvin Ridley was a good example from last year.
Okay, and so that is a great example. Mm-hmm. There have been other ones. Like, I always lose this guy's name, Weatherspoon, I think it is, the kick returner.
Yeah.
He put on a show out here. He got in there. It just didn't work as well.
I mean, I think Trayvon Walker, obviously in training camp as rookie, but also the preseason, I think he was really hyped up a lot because of what we saw and the capabilities.
Year one.
Year one, yeah.
And even the first game.
Yes.
First game was the best game.
Yeah.
And then, so it didn't fully live up. Yep. That's a good point. Because Ridley, you would say, didn't live up.
Correct.
So what we saw it here, we were like, whoa. That 1,400 that he was talking about in 14.
This feels different.
Right?
Yeah, just felt different.
So who's going to be the guy this year that we hype up? And we'll see if it plays out, and hopefully it does. You hope that it plays out, by the way. You don't root against this.
Yeah.
But who's going to get hyped up?
So I think, obviously, the big answer would be Brian Thomas Jr., just because of he's from a position where he'll be watched a lot, can make the big plays. But I'm thinking of a guy, and is it Mims, right?
Denzel Mims.
Mims had a couple good plays today.
Yeah.
And this is a guy who, you know, coming out of college was with the Jets, correct? Yeah.
Yep.
With the Jets had, like, all the capabilities, all the speed, all the elusiveness, just for whatever reason couldn't make it work in New York. Now he finds a new place in Jacksonville where obviously he's going to have to climb up the depth chart a little bit to even cement himself for a spot. But I think, like, when you talk about the preseason games, you talk about practice, like, his skill set, you know, that explosive plays, like, that jumps out to people. So I think, like, he could possibly be a guy. But I think people are going to say Brian Thomas Jr. right off the bat.
Well, it's probably a good one to go to. I think your receivers are the ones that usually do get hyped up to this conversation because we see the oohs and the ahs and the catches. Mm-hmm. So Mims has a chance. But I think even last year, the depth guys did, right? Williams and Elijah Cooks were like, hey, I've got a couple candidates here, and they've been candidates for other things. And I think what happens sometimes is our want could sometimes shade our perception of what's going on. Okay. And I think people want Devin Lloyd and Tank Bigsby to be really good. And so I wonder if in this camp, as soon as they make a play, it gets magnified more. Like, whoo! I almost did it actually right here. I saw Bigsby run down the side, and I was like, man, he looks good. Like, in the balance, he had balance like right on the, like he was like toe tapping along the sideline, and it just got me thinking. I was like, oh, Bigsby's going to have a great camp. Like, I just said it to myself, like, Bigsby's going to have a great camp. And it goes along with your question. So I wonder if we'll inflate some guys because of that, and if they're able to deliver at least to some degree on the hype. And Mims is an interesting one. I don't even think about him. I think people got to look him up right now.
Yeah.
Right? That he, like, who's that?
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, shoot, they got Denzel Mims. I remember that guy from Baylor. I remember that.
Definitely an afterthought.
There's a little bit of that. Doug Peterson said yesterday, and I wonder if this puts a little more on him. There was a question in there, which was a little bit of an odd question to Doug Peterson, and he was talking about Jack Lambert's birthday.
Okay.
All right. The question did. So it was kind of awkwardly phrased, but and it also he said the name wrong too and everything. But it was just so I think Doug was trying to like comprehend it.
Yeah, sure.
And so he's basically like Jack Lambert's like, who's that nasty guy on your defense? And so Doug was thinking, it's a tough spot for Doug. It's like, well, okay, well, nobody's probably as nasty as Jack Lambert. They don't even let you play that way.
Also, I coached the offense, so I don't know.
But he like referenced Fourier a little bit and stuff. And then he went to Darnell Savage. He went from Fourier to Darnell Savage, and I was like, well, that's a pivot. I was like, that. Well, you went. And what his point was there, and again, forget about the Lambert stuff and everything else. The point was, pound for pound, I don't know his exact quote, but it was essentially like pound for pound, that's a nasty dude.
Yeah. And you like to hear that.
You do like to hear that, but that's not my... I interpret him as like a guy they brought in for speed and...
Sure, but you know what I mean? And I'm trying to think where we heard it first. I guess it's when they first signed him, he had his press conference. He was saying how he expected to be on the line of scrimmage a little more. And, like, you know, the safety position, like, yeah, we always talk about how they're interchangeable and everything, but you really have two personality types usually at a safety position. You have the strong safety who may have been a linebacker in high school or may have been a running back in high school that has now, played the strong side, and you embrace the contact. It's like, I'm going downhill, I'll probably lead with my head, and let's cause some damage. Let's cause some destruction. And then you have a free safety where it's a little more, you're a little more cerebral with it, if you will.
Yep.
You got to have that vision. You got to play center field. You got to have communication, all this stuff. When you have a guy like Savage, it almost seems like he can do a little bit of both.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, every safety's going to tell you, I like hitting and everything. Okay, but do you really like hitting? Do you really like standing in the box, taking on Derrick Henry, taking on whatever, Bijan Robbins, whoever, name your player who can lower their shoulder? Not every safety wants to do that. I get the vibe from Darnell Savage that he almost embraces that contact. Like, he almost wants to be a part of that. So, I mean, it's an interesting soundbite from Doug there, but to me, it does make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And going forward, and see a guy that's going to be the jack of all trades. You put him all over the place and kind of let him have his reign a little bit.
Which then kind of filters into what Nielsen was saying today and the different jobs they got to do. And now up to the point, and this isn't just based off Nielsen. I think I said this last week, a couple of days ago. I just wouldn't be surprised if you just see a bunch of these guys running around on the defensive side. Like, they're playing with Fourier and like 5 defensive backs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd be surprised at that in some packages. The combination of safety, the nickel, that there's so much crossover between those two positions with at least the players the Jags have, and then crossover between the actual corners and the nickel corner. It'll be pretty interesting to see, but I get your point. I just would say this. I didn't envision him as that. Because the thumper to me is kind of gone. Cisco's been able to show a little bit of a thump.
Yeah.
But when you say, like, pound for pound and stuff like that, you're like, oh, that's a physical dude.
Yeah.
And I just didn't envision, before seeing a lot of Savage out here, like that would be part of the game too. I felt like they got faster on defense when they got him. They got more versatile on defense when they got him. But I thought that was pretty interesting praise from Doug Peterson, kind of picking apart that defense.
I mean, I guess when your last name is Savage, you better bring it.
Well, that's a good point, actually. Now that would fit, right?
Yeah. I mean, like, I don't know too many punters named Savage, Yeah,
he isn't hitting anybody right now. He's been in that non-contact jersey to start camp. So, but no big deal there, at least that Doug intimated over the last couple of days.
Panic button's on pause there for that.
Let's take a time out.
On the pause.
Brent Austen Show. We're live at Jags Training Camp, and we're the only ones left after a nice morning here in Jacksonville. We'll come back and talk more about the Jags, show you some practice video from earlier, and hit some of the big topics, including this offense off to a struggling start. There's a statistic you won't like in the first 2 days of practice. That's coming up next on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network. New to town or always been in town, everyone is always looking for a good pizza place. Our place is Donato's Pizza. We love it and still do love it. When I tell my family I'm coming to Donato's, they say, wait a minute, you got to order some for us. So this is not all for me. Let me tell you what the Martinos get when we put an order in. Well, pepperoni pizza, we usually get more than one of these. And then there's the works, a little bit of everything. And then this is the pizza that can be polarizing for some out there. I don't know why. Hawaiian pizza, some love it, some don't. At Donato's, you're gonna love it, especially with that cinnamon sprinkled on top. Try the pizza my family likes or try your favorite. Right now, you can use the code BRENT20 and get 20% off your order. Every viewer and listener is important to us, and at Donato's Pizza, every piece is important. From fresh ingredients to the dedicated team members and you, the valued customer. Donato's Pizza, where every piece comes together for a winning combination. Jax Beach and Mandarin locations. Donato's Pizza, every piece is important.
People helping people is at the core of what Alive Credit Union is all about, and it's been that way for over 70 years. From 1954 to 2024, the mission remains to inspire financial wellness and give you a financially fit lifestyle. Alive Credit Union and its employees are committed to not only serving their valued members, but also our community here in Northeast Florida. That commitment includes a partnership with the Action Sports Jax 24/7 team as the presenting sponsor of all Armada men's and women's broadcasts this summer. Action Sports Jax and Alive Credit Union, a partnership that just makes sense when it comes to covering Northeast Florida. Alive Credit Union's commitment to our community also involves serving the financial needs of our first responders through the recent merger partnership with City and Police Federal Credit Union. Join the community and become a member of Alive Credit Union today. Find out the many ways you can be inspired in financial wellness at alivecu.coop.
Burgers or breakfast, you can get it all at Whataburger. Try something new on the menu or an all-time favorite like the Whataburger Patty Melt. And now you can have breakfast here at Whataburger 12 hours a day, 11 p.m. until 11 a.m. Menu items like the bacon taquito, sausage taquito, honey butter chicken biscuit. Whether you work the late night shift, just want a snack early in the morning to get your day started, or a little pick-me-up late in the morning, 12 hours a day, breakfast served, 11 p.m. until 11 a.m. A dozen locations in Jacksonville. You can order pickup or delivery and download the Whataburger app. New rewards members get free Whataburger items when placing their first online order. Just download the app. And for us coffee drinkers, Whataburger has all new hot coffee and iced coffee too. Satisfy that coffee craving at Whataburger 24/7, and it comes in a variety of flavors. Burgers, breakfast, coffee, and so much more. Whataburger, just like you like it.
What started out as better people, better projects just keeps getting, well, better. That's Better Exterior Solutions, ready to help you create a better outdoor experience. Check this out. Motorized pergolas are the latest in technology to transform your outdoor space. Beautiful day? Let the sun shine through. Summer rainstorm? These pergola systems close automatically to keep the weather out. From residential to commercial uses, Better Exterior Solutions has products customized to meet virtually any existing architectural structure. With retractable awnings, screens, and hurricane shutters too, if you want unparalleled quality and expertise, you need Better Exterior Solutions. Get a free estimate by visiting betterexteriors.com or calling 904-902-4999. Better Exterior Solutions. Experience better.
We all have our favorite spots in town to eat, drink, and have a good time. And once in a while, we try a new spot. This new spot will soon become your favorite spot. It's 1937 Spirits and Eatery in San Marco. Where else can you get unicorn fish? It was really good. They have local fresh seafood. Try a terrific burger or a Jack's Hot Chicken sandwich. The ambiance is perfect for any occasion. The idea here is to have fun, have a good time. Whether you're chilling out on the couches, cozying up to the bar, having lunch or dinner, it's a throwback experience. 1937, when going out to dinner was like going to a party. They even have a photo booth. Who doesn't like a good photo booth? We recently brought the entire team out to try it, and everyone said, I'm bringing my significant other here to try it as well. The new spot becomes your favorite spot. Make 1937 Spirits and Eatery in San Marco your new favorite spot.
Welcome back to the Brent and Austen Show, streaming on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network.
Hey, welcome back here to the Brent and Austen Show. Brent Martineau, Austin Lane. Nick in the daytime with us as well. We appreciate him being along. Nick's working like every day this week. He was working the evening shift Monday, Tuesday, normal off days. He's directing the show this morning and then helps us out. And I think he's been helping Young and Norvell show out.
Hustling,
I
Nick.
like him, man. I see you working. Nick. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I appreciate it. It's a lot of fun being back here. Jumping in on the show, being the enigma. Nick in the daytime, whatever I am, whatever the day brings. Spider Wrangler, whatever it might be.
Time out. You're the one that you labeled him that way, Austin.
Yes, I call him the human enigma, yes.
Okay, or the enigma.
I mean, I like the enigma.
I think you just did that.
Is that what you just did, Nick? Or did you not mean to do it? Yeah, the enigma.
He did it.
Oh, I like that.
And I kind of like it.
I love that.
I think actually Austin or
Get
Casey
t-shirts.
won the week that you were gone and they were doing the show, came up with the enigma part. I didn't do it. I might have. I think they did, though.
Okay.
Week. But hey,
it might have been
either
Casey.
way.
I mean, yeah. Either way, that's it. Like, Nick in the daytime is still fun, but the human enigma now might be the new one.
You just said it, the shirt. We're going to have shirts of Nick.
Yeah.
Let's wear shirts of Nick.
Shirts of Nick, just give me like a little thumbs up or a finger point or something.
Gotta have the orange
I like
hat
it,
though, right?
Man.
Oh,
yeah,
obviously.
Definitely. We got to
man.
put you in something like
We got you.
Action Sports Jax 24/7, though, you know? And we need a little branding in there as well.
Where are we on the offensive play calling T-shirts? We're still waiting to hear.
I've actually.
Well, obviously, it's getting to Trevor because we saw some errant throws today. It makes you wonder, Brent, is he getting caught up in all this hoopla of who's calling the plays?
You know, it's how much serious concern is there when you turn the ball over? I think I just saw Duraco say 6 times in the red zone in the last 2 practices.
I mean,
is that
it's not ideal?
It's not ideal. I know. No, I'm seriously asking.
Yeah,
I know we're gonna, because what I really try to do here, you're gonna have people over the next couple of weeks that are gonna put this team in the Super Bowl. You're gonna have people over the next couple of weeks that are gonna and I've really tried to get away from that in my career this time of year, and I kind of chuckle at it when everybody does it. And I get it. You get excited about it, but we know what it is. Like, we're not blind by that. So I do the same thing on the negative. I think it's fair to do the same thing on the negative. I mean, it's practice, man. That's where you're supposed to make mistakes. But it almost feels like they better come out tomorrow and look crisp, right?
Yeah. Yeah, you don't want this to start being an identity now. Like, everyone's going to have the one off of training camp, right? And I'm sure Doug Peterson or Press Taylor will address it accordingly. You know, maybe have a few choice words of what the, bleep are we doing out there. But, yeah, you want to see a team respond. Now, I'm going to be honest. If Ryan Nielsen's defense comes out tomorrow again and Dewey looks like the reincarnation of Ed Reed out here picking off footballs and Trevor's still throwing picks, then, yeah, I think you might have to raise some concerns. How could you not?
Yeah, I don't know what it means. That's the thing, right? Like, so I'm not, but I think it's noteworthy.
Yeah.
It's noteworthy. It's going to, will it freak people out? All that stuff. Like, it shouldn't. I don't think it should. I would not be in that camp. But I do feel all of a sudden, hey, what was a little interesting is as we're talking today, if you go back and look at the first hour of the show, which you always can, go check it out as it replays on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network. And if you're watching it, you can go on YouTube and all the social media to check it out. But, I mean, it was like the exact same play. It was right here in this corner of the end zone. And I felt like in my mind I had to check myself. I was like, am I watching like a screen of a replay?
I know.
The only thing that was different was Kirk was catching it the first time and then Ingram the second time. But Dewey just came out in the same spot. I thought the throw the second time was even worse.
Yeah.
You could tell Trevor was trying to stuff it in to Kirk. This one, it just kind of sailed to the inside a little bit. Like he didn't get a lot on it.
Yep.
But it was just like, okay, well, that's kind of weird to make the same mistake twice, right? Or is it a defense in Dewey that knows what he's trying to do because it's the offense that's been doing this for 3 years?
Yeah, it's a defense in Dewey who obviously read the play very well, but at the same time, I mean, if you see him there, you got to throw it someplace else or throw the ball away, right? Like, this is what we're talking about now with Trevor Lawrence and turnovers, right? You have to be smart here. You can't turn the ball over, especially in the red zone of all places. So, yeah, I mean, obviously, I think the fans, were kind of disappointed a little bit with those interceptions and everything. I heard a few, like, oh, come on, Trevor, and all that stuff. But obviously, we have to talk, too, about, a tactical error by the Jaguars PR here. Should have announced the white helmets after practice because, we want to talk about Trevor Lawrence, and it's like, wait, Trevor, we got white helmets? For freaking the interceptions, we're getting white helmets right now. But now it's still fresh in everyone's mind, Brent. Tactical error in the preseason for Jaguars PR.
That's funny, but I have two things on that. They launched that at 7 o'clock this morning. It was like so early.
Yeah.
That they pushed that out there.
Coffee?
I think it was like wake up to it, right? Like, hey, let's wake up to it.
I guess.
But the other thing that I would find interesting about Dewey's interceptions is the crowd probably doesn't know what to do. It's like, hey, Dewey, interception. Wait a minute.
No, the crowd knows what to do.
Yeah.
Well, then Dewey's getting the crowd pumped up and everything, and the crowd is like, yeah, but you ain't making $100-something million. Yeah.
Hey, let's, Nick, I know you're getting Josh ready because we can hear it in our ears even though nobody else can. But let's show some practice video of the defensive line if we can.
All right.
And we'll get that going and take Austin through some of this as we talk about the defensive front. One of the fun things that we get to do is do that. John Osher's giving us the sign. Can you go handle Osher, by the way?
Oh,
Just
man, I mess with Osher. That dude has clout around these parts, Brent. I try to mess with him.
I mess with him all the time. All right, here we go. These are the big fellas.
Yep.
Getting their work in. This is part of what we were talking about in their defensive front.
Here you got Trayvon Walker
there's
right
Trayvon
here.
Walker. You were noticing. You think he's got a little bigger.
Yeah. I think he's added a little bit of weight here, a little bit of bulk. I mean, maybe we'll find out after our show if everyone's talked to him. But
actually, Marcel asked him that, I think, today, so I don't know the answer yet.
Oh, Brent, what a tease. Okay, but, I mean, dude,
yeah, he just did it.
Hanging by a thread, yeah, but it looks like he is a little bigger this year.
Yeah, and the reason why that's significant, Austin thinks, is because he could kick him inside, and did he do that for those reasons? But as always, you try to do that and not lose any speed, so it'll be minimal weight, I think, but maybe more muscle.
Sure, and here you just have, it's the basic drill. It's putting your hands and feet together, right? I mean, when we talk about the fundamentals of football, that's where it makes all the difference. I remember a couple years ago when Caleb Chason was a rookie, and we broke down just a simple spin move, and we compared that to Josh Allen and Caleb Chason, and like to maybe to like the casual eye, it looked pretty much the same, right? But then if you really dive deep into it, I mean, one false step here, one step right here makes all the difference in the world, And we talk about Caleb Chason, a guy who had a lot of burst off that edge, but just didn't have the finite details to be a great pass rusher here. And that's what I think makes the difference between him and Josh Allen right now. So we just see footwork, we see the hand placement, and we see reaction. It's such a cliche thing in the NFL, but it truly is a game of inches. And any false step, any split-second delay can be the difference between a quarterback sack, a tackle for a loss, and a 20-yard gain or even a touchdown.
Yeah, what's interesting about our conversation with Brad Meester is he mentioned so many times, you got to be quick, your footwork. And it's like, again, this is me. That I'm like, okay, these guys are 320 pounds. They're not fast. My foot, they're not ballerinas. But it's still very important that I think we equate footwork with running backs and with wide receivers, and we see the ladder drills and like all that, or maybe even quarterbacks really getting back to whatever drop they got to get to. But the footwork seems to start almost every position, especially in the trenches at your base. It makes a lot of sense, ground up, right?
Of course, yeah. And, and we talk about training camp, like this is some of the most mundane stuff of training camp, right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it doesn't look that physically taxing, but you do this drill over and over and over again. And whether you're a rookie or you're a 10-year veteran, it's all about engaging that muscle memory, because by the time the regular season starts, Brent, you don't want to have to worry about your footsteps. You don't want to have to worry about your hand placement. It's all going to be muscle memory so you can focus on the play at hand. Right now, they're just kind of refining everything in terms of their footwork and their hand placement.
Yeah, this is the boring part of camp.
It is the boring part of camp, but it's the necessary part of camp. Like, I mean, it's going to sound a little over-embellished, but like this is the difference between a playoff team and a team that can win maybe 5 or 6 games in a season. It's the little finite details that make all the difference.
This is like, again, this is everybody knows this, but it's like spring training, right? And pitchers are fielding drills and all that. And then I always say they don't do it again until the rest of the year. Then you wonder by the end of the year in pitching, they start making fielding mistakes because they haven't really practiced it since like March.
Yeah.
Well, these guys actually still do a lot of this stuff during the season, right? I mean, you're going to start practices on Wednesdays and Thursdays in season.
Correct.
It's all muscle memory stuff.
It is a muscle memory. Obviously, I think in training camp you spend a little more time on this stuff. But yeah, these drills you're going to be seeing throughout even if it's the playoffs, like you're going to be seeing these drills a lot of practice.
We talked Trayvon, Josh Hines-Allen, of course. Nielsen talked about him next level and had to almost remind everybody he can still get even better. Trayvon, obviously, a guy. Tyson, a guy getting better. There's been a lot of talk about those guys in here. But I kind of have my focus, and I mentioned this earlier, on guys like Roy Robertson Harris and Devon Hamilton. I think those are I think we know, which is beautiful, that we know what we're going to get here in Jacksonville out of some of these guys. I don't know if we fully know from those guys, 95 and 52, and how are they going to play this year in this defense, in the role that they have. I think Jacksonville, my perception is they're not asking a guy like Roy Robertson Harris to do as much.
Sure.
So when you're being asked to do it extremely well.
Yeah.
And then Hamilton's just a bounce back year, we're going to see.
No, exactly. I mean, this is the beauty when you have some depth in the defensive line now, is that you can kind of, interact with guys or interchange with guys a little bit, because that's what it's all about, Brent. Whether it's, 100 degrees like it seems out here today, or, it's the winter time playing in Lambeau. There's something to be said in terms of, having those guys that are able to sub in, and that's important, and that's where the depth comes in a little bit. And I think we saw that addressed here a little bit in the draft. Now, we didn't see the edge get addressed that much, but I think they like the guys that they have. And keep in mind, Robertson Harris can play maybe a little bit on the outside. Obviously, you brought in Gibson to play on the outside. So depth purposes right now, health is the most important thing, but also being able to play at a high level is a very important thing, and we've seen a lot of these guys make some big plays.
All right, let's do this. Speaking of that defensive front, Josh Hines-Allen just talked to the media a short time ago. Let's listen in before we hit a break to a little bit of number 41 coming off the big-time contract extension.
When you play good football, you deserve to get paid, So that's just a testament of the hard work they put in throughout the years. And then the trust that the organization has in the guys. And as long as we keep building on this, as long as we keep the core, the sky's the limit. This year is a big year for us, and we're expecting nothing but the best.
The defense obviously has really shown out these first 2 days of camp. Could you talk a little bit about what you think the impact of Ryan Nielsen is going to be on this defense, even though you guys are not in pads?
I think it's the buying in. We want to do something that's never been done, so we have to do things that we've never done before. So, he's taking that approach every single day. We do indies all the way up the team to focus on the details, from the hand placement to the feet, making sure that everything is in line, because he had, every coach has their ways of playing, but for us, he's teaching us to play fast and play physical. Get your hands on somebody and strike them as hard as you can, as fast as you can, as many times as you can. And if we could keep that focus with the discipline, because the technique works, so we can stay disciplined through the heat, from early in the game to late, to the overtimes, to November, we'll be unstoppable.
How much do you think that approach is also going to be beneficial for Trevor, seeing what you hope will be a better defense every day?
I mean, we got goals to be the number one defense in the NFL. So, that's our standard. And the offense has their standard to probably be the number one offense in the league. So if we're not competing at a high level, if we're not giving them the best looks that we can, what good are we doing to this team totality? So, we come at it every single day, no let up, no. If we can end this day with a win as a defense, they're going to get better, because they just faced against the number one defense in the National Football League.
Josh, how long did you consider the Hines-Allen name change? When did you first come to your mind that, hey, I might consider doing this or do this?
Probably like 2 years ago. I've always resonated with Hines. Like I said, I grew up behind. So I was known as that. So I never really paid too much attention to it. But I knew that my legacy was, held dating back all the way back. living in Alabama my first 3 years of high school and wanting to come back to finish high school because my whole family went there, being a part of that legacy and then building that on and carrying on and creating my own and then creating my own for my family. So I just thought it was right to really, dig deep and find the right people to help me get it done, and we got it done.
What's been the reaction from friends and family?
About time, really. But they're very supportive, and they're happy that I made the decision, both sides of my family, and I carry on the legacy for them.
So just curious, in your new contract, are you Josh Hines Allen in that contract? Or are you
Josh Allen.
Okay.
Josh Allen.
Have you caught yourself not putting the Hines signatures now recently?
No, I done wrote it a couple of times now to where it's like I can't make that mistake.
You got the Bills are on the schedule again. Does it Josh Allen? Does this give you some differential?
Week 3 matchup Monday night, got to be ready to play. But I will be having my jersey swap that Friday, so come out and come get your jersey changed.
Everyone loves a good game night. Here you don't have to be the host. You don't have to clean up. They bring the food and drinks to you, and you can watch whatever you want on the big screens. It's more than a card room. It's a night full of fun with friends. Best Bet Jacksonville, Orange Park, and now the newest location here in St. Augustine, right off 95 at exit 311. A brand new clean room, a full bar and menu, my favorite sushi in town. And I love the fries too. You don't have to just play poker at Best Bet. That's why I come over here to the table games and play one-card poker. That's a pretty good card and a win. One-card poker is like war as a kid, you against the dealer. And this isn't the only fun table game to play. A friendly staff, a lot of fun. It's a good night out at Best Bet Jacksonville, Orange Park, and the newest location in St. Augustine. You can be a serious player or a novice. It doesn't matter. If winning equals fun, you're a winner every time at Best Bet. I'll save you a seat, and I'll see you down here at Best Bet St. Augustine.
Oh man, it is that time. I love being outside, but it is just so hot. Oh my gosh, I cannot be outside. Well, it doesn't have to be. As a matter of fact, I've got the perfect solution for you to be able to stay outdoors and not look like this guy.
GW Outdoor Solutions has the solution that will help you create areas of shade with their automated retractable awning. As the summer months inch closer, the high temperatures will be right there too. With GW Outdoor Solutions, go from scorching to cooling in no time with one simple push of a button. These innovative shade solutions not only provide protection from the sun and rain, but also add style and functionality to your home. Let GW Outdoor Solutions transform your backyard into paradise. Check out gwoutdoorliving.com for your free estimate.
Summertime means sizzling sales at Nimnick Buick GMC. The #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville has lots of inventory to choose from with their best price guarantee. Nimnick never charges above MSRP. You can save up to $10,000 off select new GMC Sierras or get rates as low as 1.9%. I'm a truck guy. GMC Sierra, my trim level is an SLT. This one's an Elevation. Pretty good looking color as well. So here at Nimnick Buick GMC, you have a lot to pick from. My father-in-law, he drives this, an Enclave, so I feel like that GMC in the family. 2025 is coming around the corner, which means it's almost time to close out those 2024s this summer. You can schedule a test drive at NimnickBuickGMC.com, and while you're there, check your trade value and customize your payment options. Nimnick is there for you, even on Sundays. Visit the showroom on Phillips Highway or shop online at NimnickBuickGMC.com. Nimnick, your friends in the car business since 1941. GMC, we are professional grade.
It's hard to put a price on comfort, especially when you use that comfort on a daily basis. But if we're going to put a price on it, how does the lowest price guaranteed sound? Furniture Source is going to have the biggest brands, whether it's Ashley, Casper, or Tempur-Pedic, and once again, it's going to be the guaranteed lowest price in Jacksonville. Right now, my friends at Furniture Source are going to give you the ultimate hookup because all month long they're making their inventory wholesale price. Check out their markdowns up to 50% off. And remember, since it's Furniture Source, you're getting the guaranteed lowest prices in Florida or your money back. Don't have the cash on you right now? It's no worry. Shop endless options to suit your style and budget and enjoy 36 months off with no interest financing. Why use your money when you can use theirs? Whether it's beds, couches, tables, or chairs, Furniture Source is going to have exactly what you're looking for. Shop the lowest prices in Jacksonville guaranteed. Find the location nearest you at FurnitureSourceJacks.com.
It's a new logo, new branding. With Bold City Heating and Air, it's an old school approach. One of the few locally owned and operated air conditioning businesses left in Jacksonville. It's hot, Florida in the summer. You can't do much to avoid it, but you can keep cool with Bold City Heating and Air. It's every customer counts kind of service, from when these trucks have pulled up to my home over the last couple of years and when they pull into your driveway as well. From communication to pricing to the actual service, everyone at Bold City Heating and Air cares about you. You know who is coming to your house. You know they will be well trained and they will respect your home. Air conditioning convenience at BoldCityAC.com. Stay cool while it gets hot. Bold City Heating and Air can help. Don't get caught sweating all summer. BoldCityAC.com. And they have financing to help. New systems starting at $110 a month and $50 off any repairs. Stay safe, stay comfortable with Bold City Heating and Air at BoldCityAC.com. Homegrown in your hometown.
Welcome back to the Brent and Austen Show, streaming on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network.
Hey, we're back on the Brent and Austen Show on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network.
Hey. Nice try, Jaguars. Nice try to lock me out of this show.
You shouldn't have said that about the play call yesterday.
It's going to take a lot more to keep me off this show. One more time for the folks home, in case they didn't know. Ask Trevor Lawrence what he wants. Give Trevor Lawrence what he wants. Tell the media what he wants. And that's live from Jaguars HQ, everybody. Trying to lock me out of the show.
If everybody just knew, Nick's doing a great job back there, probably covering up all the stuff that is happen sometimes in a live show.
Yeah.
What I can't plan for, and we couldn't bring a tent just because of the nature of where we're at. It's just how hot it gets.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
And so we think, I was on the verge of frying my computer.
Yep.
Brand new computer, by the way.
Yeah.
And I was like, I got to get it out of here.
Yeah.
But I think it was about to be fried.
Yeah.
And it did not like it. Hopefully it works when I go back and check it out. But I have my backup computer.
Okay.
Well, that was out of juice. So I had to go plug that one in.
Jones is out of juice.
So then I tried to get on, like how we listen to the show and going to listen to Nick and everything. I tried to get on through my phone.
Yeah.
I eventually did. So after Josh Allen talked, that's how we get in a commercial break. Well, Nick's telling me there's like 15 seconds and I'm ready to go. And all of a sudden I see Austin through the door and he's like, wave in. And I know what's happening. You can't get out sometimes.
Okay, well, the security guy, whoever that was confused as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because like, what, are you pulling it? I'm like, hey, man, yeah, I'm big dude, I'm pulling it. It's not going. He's like, you sure? I'm like, I'm pretty confident that it's not going right now, yeah. So it was a mess.
So now you can see my pickleball prowess. I had a quick first step.
Wasn't bad, man.
Right?
Wasn't bad. I like the agility there, man. I like the agility a lot. But yeah, that was all right.
I love it. So much fun.
I thought my credentials already cut. Like, lasted a couple hours here.
Hey, how did the wrestling show go?
Great. Yeah, good. We had to figure out the social media part. We eventually figured that part out. But yeah, it was fun. It was a blast. You know, it was good getting back together with Casey and Brian Middleton, kind of the old batch, if you will, the old school dudes. So yeah, we had a blast, and I think we're going to keep on doing it. I didn't swear, so you're welcome for that. And yeah, great time.
Good stuff. That's Scrap House, by the way.
Yeah.
The Scrap House, Wednesday nights. It'll be on Wednesday nights on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network and on social media as well. So you got that going for you. That will be a lot of fun. And hopefully people can check it out. So Wednesday night, 7 o'clock going forward on the network and, again, on social media. Just part of the lineup. So we have Young and Norvell show coming up this afternoon. If you missed the Stripe Show podcast yesterday, you get to see that again. A week with Action Sports Jax. Cup date, that's the lineup between 1 and 3 o'clock. So we're filling in some of the gaps between Miller and Moulton, Brent and Austen, and Young and Norvell as well. So a lot to continue to add to the lineup this fall that we're excited about. All right, I don't know, Nick, if I don't know if we're going to be able to hear it anyway. I don't know, Nick, try it out and see if you can hear me. See if I can hear you. Maybe not.
The fact Brent is like treating his laptop like it's like a toddler and he's trying to check for a fever right now in the head, he's trying to see how hot it is. Man, we're going through it.
We're going through it a little bit. So
what's...
Well, I can't ask you. You would have to hear what you were going to ask.
Yeah, I got you.
But we're not going to see that. So there's a pretty good chance that Nick can't hear us, or Nick can hear us fine, but he can't talk to us. We can take it all the way to 1 o'clock.
Yeah, but he can't. I got you.
But man, this heat something. I was
something.
bragging about the cloud cover.
Brent, you got a little too cocky, I think.
And I got a little cocky on the cloud cover.
Got a little cocky.
Mother Nature, I don't like you anymore.
It is what it is. But you thrive in this heat. You love the heat.
I don't mind the heat. The computers don't like it.
The computer's technology.
The equipment doesn't like the heat.
Yeah.
So, we'll see if we can make it to 1 o'clock or not. That's just where we're at.
Okay.
Right now, that fan feels pretty good.
Fan feels fantastic.
Okay, so I'm not going to let everybody listen to this because we can't hear it.
Okay.
So I make an open for you guys yesterday. On the Scrap House.
Sure.
So So the way this works is we had Danielle in graphics made the open for the wrestling show.
Yes.
And so then
by the way, didn't get played during our show at all.
Why not?
Because Casey never got it.
Well, he didn't get it. He just didn't do his job and get it.
Well, no, he said like it never came through on his cell phone. Like he was confused when I liked it. You sent over the imaging, and I hit like, you know, like the thumbs up emoji thing.
Yeah.
And he didn't know what I was thumbs upping, so he never got that imaging.
Oh.
So, but just a little background before we tell.
So it didn't even show up.
Didn't even play last night. Now
all you had to do is get it out of the Google Drive, Casey Kurtz. I mean, come on. How about ask a question here or there? If you don't know something, ask a question.
We just came in raw and unfiltered, man.
Oh my gosh, all the work I put in.
Organic it was, yeah.
Well, here's how disappointing this was.
Okay.
So Marcel and I are in the sports office.
Okay.
And I'm trying to pick out some music that might go with the wrestling.
The Scrap House.
And Marcel did the voiceover.
Yeah, that was great, by the way.
This is the Scrap House with Austin Lane and Casey Kirk.
Yeah.
On Action Sports X147 Network. Marcel does a good job with that.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm like, Marcel, check this out. We're going to get the worst music possible, and we're going to put it underneath this.
Yeah.
And I'm going to send it to him.
Yep.
And so I do.
Yep.
So I basically had funeral music. It's like funeral music. It was underneath the Scrap House wrestling.
It was very depressing. Yes. Yep. Go on, keep on.
And so I send it to Austin and Casey. I'm like, hey guys, I got the open. I hope you like it.
Yeah.
That's all I said.
Yeah.
And Austin puts the thumbs up emoji or the heart emoji.
Maybe the heart emoji. I loved it.
And then Casey's like, sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Looks good to me.
Which you didn't even see it, which is funny now in retrospect. Yeah.
And so, I texted Marcel. I showed him the exchange, and I'm like, these sons of... what the heck? I was like, I wanted them to be... I was like, watch, they won't even tell me that it sucks.
Yeah, true. Well, no, so here's the thing. And I'm being completely transparent. When I heard it for the first time, my initial thought was, well, this isn't anything close to the image. Like, it's Scrap House, supposed to be like rough and rowdy, and this is like funeral poppy. Like, it just didn't go hand in hand. But also, I'm not naive to the fact of, well, I didn't make this. This is out of my jurisdiction, so I'm just happy to even have a passion project. So that was me just saying, hey, man, I appreciate your time, effort, regardless of what it sounds like. You took time out of your day to make this. That's why you got the heart emoji. Now, I'm not going to lie. When we got to the studio about 10 minutes before the Scrap House started, I played it for Casey for the first time, and we were both in agreement of, well, just because it's on the system doesn't mean it's all good. Like, it almost did us a favor, right? That's our conversation.
So maybe that's why he didn't go looking for it.
Maybe that's why he didn't go looking for it. But no, I was just thankful that, you know, you took time out of your day to help us out. So I wasn't going to be disrespectful, man. I was raised better than that.
Well, it was just a joke. Like I even put on, and Nick will even see it in our system. It says fake wrestling open.
Yeah, you completely fooled us, because I'm not going to lie. I wanted to say something, but once again, like, you went out of your way to make it, so I'm like, man, I'll take whatever we can get.
I appreciate it.
You're welcome, man. Sorry for being kind-hearted.
Hey,
I'll be sure to be tactful.
We're not going to get honest feedback here. That's the bottom line.
Yeah.
We're not going to get honest feedback.
Leave that for the chats.
It's okay to tell us when we suck.
Leave that for the chats, Brent.
The chats. If they
called me a snitch today with Brad Meester.
If they can even
hear. He's telling a story.
And the chats did, not me.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. That the chats are telling it like it is.
He'll be fine. Miss Jamie's.
I'm not worried about it.
Brent Martineau, Austin Lane wrapping up day of training camp and overheating. Not us.
Yeah.
All the equipment.
Best bet. We'll see you tomorrow with that nice AC.
Oh, yeah. Well, Best Bet St. Augustine. That's the place to be. I did Joe Burrow's hair.
Yeah.
I mean, guys, with all this swag to Joe Burrow, did he lose it with a haircut?
So here's the thing with swag, Brett, and fashion, is that sometimes you got to think so far outside the box that it almost like makes a little sense. And when you talk about, and I'm not sure if Nick can pull, I mean, I can't really, whatever. But I'm sure everyone's seen it by now. Joe Burrow showing up to training camp, rocking that Slim Shady, rocking that Cody Rhodes, if you will, a short buzz cut with that blonde platinum style look. I'm not mad at it, man.
Really? You're not mad at it?
I'm not mad at it because, like, it's got to the point, like, remember he had like the long hair where it kind of looked like, you know, he looked like a
kind of like a movie star.
A movie star, if you will. Yeah. I mean, a movie star from a gated community.
Yes.
Come on.
Okay.
Yeah, come on. So, like, that was that one look. And now, like, he completely switches it up and goes completely different with the short blonde hair buzz cut. I like it, man.
I don't know. I feel like this is you guys in your swag train on Joe Burrow not taking defeats.
Come on. No, we're not taking defeat. No.
I mean, he looks exactly like Cody Rhodes, too. Like, he kind of copied a look.
World champion.
People would get hammered for copying a
World
look.
champion. Trevor Lawrence, maybe you should do it, too.
He's got his own look.
No, he does have his own look, and I enjoy it a lot, yeah.
So what's the rest of the internet saying? Do they like this look or not? Has he lost a little swag?
If we're being honest, I think it's about 50-50.
Oh, is it?
I think some of the internet is about it, and some of the internet, it's cracking jokes, doing the comparisons and everything, and spoiler alert, the comparisons are not kind. I seem to be seeing a lot of the dude from 21 Jump Street. Jonah Hill. Jonah Hill in high school when he dyed his hair. I've seen a lot of those memes going around, and once again, probably not the biggest compliment to Joe Burrow.
That's it. I can't get over how much he looks like Cody Rhodes.
I know
that is amazing how much that, and that's not a guy like I would even pick. Stuff. But I mean, I know who Cody Rhodes is obviously, but he absolutely looks like Cody Rhodes. Yeah, what did he say? By the way, what was his reason? He was just bored.
I think just bored. Yeah, trying to make something new.
I bet somebody gave him some advice and it was bad advice. It seems like a marketing branding misstep. That's what it does to me.
Just for men, like Platinum Blonde edition or something?
Nah, more of like, hey man, everybody knows you got the swag. Why don't you try this too? Wait until they see this.
Yeah.
And it's like, ooh, wait until they saw that.
I mean, I think the next logical step now for Joe Burrow is like a big old mustache, right? Big old handlebar mustache coming at you.
Get a little Ryan Nielsen
stash.
He could correct it that way. People would like that, I think.
I would be down for that. The sessions are in right now, Brent.
Still?
Yes, correct.
Sessions have really been in for like a decade.
They've been in.
Because I remember when Shad Khan had the stash, it was a thing, and it was a thing not just with Shad.
Yeah.
So it's been like a decade of stashing.
They're still in, for sure. Also, so that was kind of Joe Burrow's, appearance to training camp, if you will, the first sign of Joe Burrow. I'm kind of surprised that maybe I don't really have my finger on the pulse like I used to. Remember how everyone had their own way of pulling up the training camp, break trucks and things?
Yeah. Has that gone away?
I haven't really noticed anything yet. Have you noticed anything?
I have not seen anything.
Yeah. I mean, some of those guys pull up in a Taylor Swift private jet or something. I haven't seen anything.
Some of those guys haven't pulled up. CD Lamb.
Yeah,
Jordan Love. Some of those guys holding out. Trent Armstrong. Trent Williams, holding out.
Good point. Yeah. But you haven't seen a lot of that.
Yeah, it's a really good point. You used to see a lot of it. Does that mean that deals are getting done earlier, or?
But it wasn't even for deals per se. It was just I
was thinking of the Brinks truck.
Yeah, the Brinks truck one. But I remember AB used to always pull up. He had a tank, I think, one year and stuff. Right. You don't really see that anymore.
That's a good call.
Which is wild because social media is bigger than ever. But why wouldn't you want to showcase a viral moment, if you will?
Is there any chance those get squashed by the either NFLPA or organizations like, hey, listen?
I mean, maybe, but why? Is shutting fun down?
Is it fun or is it too me? Because the guys you mentioned are very me.
Yeah, they are very me. I mean, it might be me, but it's fun. It's
and I'm not even criticizing. I would say it's fun too.
Yeah. But maybe everything's been done. What else would you do? We've seen tanks, we've seen Brinks trucks, we've seen a helicopter, I think, before. We've seen like a military truck, I remember.
Yeah, bikes, obviously.
Bikes. I don't know. I mean,
yeah, but they do, like Antonio Brown did have some, I think, creative ones.
Oh, he did every single year.
Yeah. But all the dunks have been done too, and we still do the dunk contest. So it's a little surprising why somebody wouldn't do it.
It's a good point.
In today's age of branding, as big as it's ever been.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about it though until you said it.
Yeah.
One last thought. And this is a good way to end the show. I just had a couple of tidbits here.
Okay.
What do Yankees stink?
Yeah. All is right in the world again.
I mean, it's really amazing if you think. I know people are locked into football season, but they are like 10-21 now in their last 31 games.
Yeah.
The White Sox are worse. And I saw a headline today where the White Sox are now 50 games under 500. 50 games. They're like 27-77, I want to say, or 24-74, something like that.
And correct me if I'm wrong, didn't you call that the White Sox would have the worst record in MLB this year?
I think we did.
I think me and Hamby
Even
had the
more than
Athletics.
Oakland, yeah.
Me and Hamby had the Athletics. I believe you had the White Sox.
I might have been right. But the Yankees thing is really surprising now. It's one thing to go through a swoon, but to come, they can't win.
Brighter days were ahead, too, to start off the season.
The craziest thing in baseball this year might be the flip of the back pages in New York. The Mets got off to a horrendous start. They're like, this ain't working. Again, wasted all their money, spent all this money. Yankees get off to this roaring start. They're up by even a few games on Baltimore, but a bunch on everybody else. And then this last, now I guess it's a 30-something game sample, so we're over a month and a half.
Yeah.
And the Mets keep winning and winning and winning. They just swept them through 4 games this year in the Subway Series.
Yeah.
It's pretty stunning to see the Yankees in the situation they are in.
I mean, all of a sudden you have Grimace throw that first pitch, and then the Mets got that new jolt of energy.
Oh, they need something than the Yankees do.
I know. Maybe the Yankees could bring out the Hamburglar to come pitch or something. But yeah, it's been a giant downfall.
All right, so a couple of other things going on in the world of sports, but the big thing here is Jags Training Camp. Let's put a bow on this if you're just jumping in. We'll be at Best Bet St. Augustine, by the way, tomorrow. Got a full lineup the rest of the day. We've got First and 10 Training Camp tonight, 11:15 on CBS 47, Fox 30. So we're rocking and rolling. Sound from Trayvon Walker and Josh Hines Allen, and we thought Ryan Nielsen was very good today, and just what he had to talk about, his philosophy. And right now, Austin, from the microphone to the field, the defense looks like we might have something here in Jacksonville.
Yeah, listen, I mean, you can talk the talk if you want, but eventually you got to walk the walk, and I get it. We're still very early in training camp. The pads aren't even on yet, but from today, like I said, if I'm Shad Khan, just put them in bubble wrap and just save them for Miami, because this defense right now is checking a lot of boxes for the first couple days.
Well, keep in mind, you're not even really seeing the part of the defense that we think is going to be good, and that's the pass rush. Just a lot of 7-on-7 work, and it looks like they're flying around well. But we think the strength of the Jags defense is going to be the pass rush. They're not into that mode just yet. But I think so far that's secondary, and maybe it's a little bit on the offense, just a little bit clunky start and rusty start. It hasn't been good, because that's the flip side of this conversation. You've hit the panic button like 4 times already this week, but it doesn't sound like you're doing it yet with the offense.
No, not at all. I mean, give the offense some times. Now, if tomorrow, like I said, Brent, you come out here and it's more of the same, more Trevor Lawrence interceptions, then the Jags PR better have a teal helmet in the chamber getting ready to unveil that after practice. We don't have to talk about it, because you don't want to see back-to-back performances like this.
No, I think actually, so if you're coming out to practice tomorrow, I think it's kind of a big day for the offense.
That's what I'm saying.
Big day for the offense, to your point, to get back on track and show some things and then get in a little bit of a rhythm. You're going to have the ebbs and flows of camp. Like, that's just not a surprise.
I mean, to me, it's going to be a win-win tomorrow. Either the offense is going to ball out, or they're going to be more of the same. We're going to hit the panic button, and then the Jaguars will unveil teal helmets too as well. So
that is the other story today that the Jags did unveil. They're white helmets, but they can only wear them with the black uniforms. People are mad at that. All right. I think we got to get out of here. Action Sports Jags 24/7 Network, Brent Austen Show. Thanks for hanging out with us at Jags Training Camp, and have a good day. Podcast up in about a half hour, so you can listen wherever you find your podcasts.